Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Uh, this camera thing always screws up on me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't shared the link, share the link, get the word out there. We're going to go ahead and get started here in a minute. Once I do some magic here. Man, I am orange. What is going on? All right, we'll just do that. It's probably because I get the Pokemon in the background. So I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. We do have some guests in the back room. I'll wheel them out in a second. I just want to remind you guys that if you haven't, follow me on Twitter, JBot_art. If you haven't subbed, make sure you sub, hit that like, and then hit the bell for notifications. I haven't been pushing that much, and I think it's probably something that should be important. But we're going to go ahead and start bringing in. We'll start with one of our guests here that came in. We're just going to chill out, draw. That's what today's all about. Throw some synthwave on, and we're just going to hang out and have a good time. We'll go ahead and introduce Mr. Rob Wilson to the stream. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Hey, always glad to be here, and especially when the sun ain't gonna shine anymore. Sorry, couldn't help it. That daggone Cyberfrog Wreck Planet trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. So where can we see your stuff, Rob?
I got a link tree. I'll go ahead and put it in. But
Yeah, let me
I'm
see if I
pretty
got
much everywhere. I'm even on Truth Social. So I go by RW Art Stellations. So basically like constellations, Rob Wilson Art Stellations. And I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but I'm not too proud of it. you know, um, I'm on Patreon. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Rumble. Pretty much everywhere um, that has some kind of human activity involved.
Cool,
So
cool, cool.
um, even Vimeo also, I have like my archive speed paintings there.
Hmm.
Um, Getting a link right now,
Cool.
but definitely trying to build the YouTube channel up this go round. I had a previous YouTube channel and it just got censored and flagged so much. It was like, well, what's the point of me even doing this?
Mm,
And trying to get people to go to Vimeo, where I have more creative control, is hard. It has
hmm.
been difficult. So that's why I end up making another YouTube channel.
Cool. If you can post in the YouTube chat,
Okay.
and I could go ahead, I'll make you a wrench too, so then you could just drop your links anytime you want, man.
Okay.
Because I'm
I'll go
horrible at it, so I'll leave it up to
ahead.
y'all.
Hey, we're all learning, right?
And then while those links are getting dropped, we're going to go ahead and introduce our second guest here, Mr. Odin Dasko. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
All
Good,
right, I'm,
good.
I'm
How
glad
are
you
you, Rob?
guys were able to make it.
All
So
right. Odin.
Yeah, good to see you both. Yeah,
Same
excited to
to you.
draw bits.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And then just so I would like to start the show with everybody plugging their stuff. Where can we catch you, Odin? And then also let's get that Indiegogo out as well.
yeah. I'll throw that all in the comments as we go.
Mhm.
I'll probably be doing it. Hopefully some people start trickling in and add them as they go. But
Mhm.
yeah, obviously, I'm on 80s Made show quite a bit, and then I've got my. I don't have half of those things that Rob just mentioned. I don't even know what they are. So he's way more on top of it than I am. But yeah, I've got the standard ones, or what I think is the standard ones. Now, YouTube channel, mostly draw and sing, and then Twitter, Instagram. Those are the two main ones. Like Rob said, I have Facebook, but that's more for family and shit like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
So yeah, most of the artwork is definitely on Instagram because there's no other like tweets and stuff. Everything has to have an image, so it's like almost all artwork. And then, but Twitter
Yeah.
is probably the most active, of course.
Yeah, it's a bummer. If Instagram had that interactivity that Twitter had,
Yeah,
Oh
it'd be
yeah.
so much cooler, But it's like it doesn't have that interactivity. But then you have to wade through all the BS for anything that you're doing. It's like,
yeah.
oh God.
There's cool things about it. I mean, there's cool things about everything, and then there's downfalls to everything. Yeah, it is what it is, So whatever. I mean, we use them all. At the end of the day, my preferred thing is YouTube because you actually do put faces to names and voices and interact. I don't know. It just seems more real. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and add this too. If you guys haven't already, Unconditional Shove Volume 1 on Indiegogo. Signups are live. And when were you looking at about launching the actual campaign, Odin?
Well, on or near, probably if it's not on, it'd be before, but Halloween is the 10th.
Cool.
And I was originally thinking on Halloween would be so awesome, but there's just so much going on. Anybody with kids, you got that going on. And then I like doing the Fragtober Halloween thing. It's always fun. Yeah. So I'm like, maybe we'll do it the night before or something like that. So.
General Piggy, thanks for coming in, my man.
Yeah, good to see you, Piggy. The General.
Hell to the General.
Yes.
And then just so we get a description, this is going to be an anthology book in the vein of like Tales of the Crypt, eerie, creepy.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be short stories, anthology style, mostly sci-fi horror, but they're going to have that feel like occasionally some tongue-in-cheek funniness to it, and but definitely some gore. Some I try to keep it pretty action-oriented and fun. So even though it's horror, it's going to be like kind of like the fun kind of horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my main inspiration actually wasn't even comic books. It's really Twilight Zone. So I always think of that when I'm writing, as far as like how to construct the beginning and ending of the story. Because we got our narrator, which you can see on the screen there. It's kind of a zoomed in picture of him on the campaign thing. But he presents each story. He's Vidon the Beholder, so he's kind of like an interdimensional being who sees everything, and so he's going to take you on a journey to view some of the craziest scenarios throughout different dimensions and different timelines and all kinds of stuff. So
it's going to be awesome
and very monster focused because I love monsters.
Yeah. I think there's that vein of monsters being fun, and also if you mentioned Twilight Zone and stuff. From what I remember, Twilight Zone always had like some kind of twist or something that was unexpected, and there was always some kind of lesson to be learned at the end of the episode, where someone took something for granted or someone did something they're not supposed to, and ends up biting their ass in the end. It's just that was always something you never could kind of peg down stuff in Twilight Zone. Which
I love that about it. That was one of my favorite things. Is generally there's that. What you call a comeuppance for the bad guy, and then some kind of Aesop's moral to the story, and then also that twist ending. So Rod Serling and Robert Matheson, they were great at capturing that and playing on what we have as common themes as humans, because a lot of them were kind of like shining a spotlight on some of our horrible dogmas and like mob mentalities and things like that. It's just really good for that. So it'll touch on that kind of stuff, but I definitely try to have that kind of like interesting ending. So that way you're always like, wondering what it's going to be, same with Twilight Zone. So yeah.
Make you a mod, Rob, and General's in here all the time too, man. And we're just going to be full of wrenches, but that's cool.
Well, better than none.
Yeah, I was what was it last night? They had Eddie Made live stream, and I'm sitting back. I was like, oh shucks, let me get in the comments, and I ended up talking to a lady friend for like 3 hours. So I was like, well, I typed, I'm still alive here, but it's like that was like an hour later. I was like,
I remember that, but I didn't get the context. I was like, did we? I thought maybe or you took something like we're talking crap about you, and you're like, hey, I'm still here,
No, I couldn't even hear it because I had it on mute. I had her on speaker, so I was listening to the conversation. And
I hung out for a while, but the weekdays I always have to I can't stay up as late as those guys. So.
Yeah.
Same with tonight. That's why I know we talked about getting caffeine, and I'm like, well, I got decaf, but I got it. Speaking of which, I have to really quick grab it, so I'll be right back.
Sure. And let's go ahead. We might as well start with throw some music up real quick.
All right. Yeah, with streaming, I'm learning that it has its own pressures.
Mhm.
That kind of puts you more into the zone, and yeah, I guess a little less pressure.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want anybody to come in and think they have to perform or have to put on the show, or because I'm not. So
Yeah, understood.
so this is what you get, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's
I
it.
perform for you. I heard
Yeah.
Rob singing a little bit ago, though.
Oh yeah, from that Wreck Planet trailer with
Oh, okay.
Frankie Lyman.
Yeah.
So we got the music going. I think we're going to go ahead, and I have no idea what I'm going to be working on. Well, I kind of have an idea. I might try and do some concept stuff or whatever, what I'm going to be working on today.
Yeah, I'm going to switch
know-
my camera here. So I just finished one, which should be kind of fun to look at. But then I'm going to move to something else. But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
easier to
if you
look
want to
at.
show them. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Nice.
I've seen you working on that.
That is
Cool.
detailed.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
that's the one that follows. That's like kind of the main beginning of the next story with friends like these. So it follows this one. So I remember I was working on that
Yeah.
guy. But yeah, then it moves into this. So
Crazy.
Which is John Cena versus the Scarecrow. Nice.
yeah, that's John Cena. He does look like John Cena. I'm not gonna call him Peacemaker, but I hope he dies.
I know you were talking about those trees that you were working on. I watched that video that you were just
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
they're kind of a pain in the ass, but
Yeah. And then I see you just like, oh, black it out. I just did half of these. Now I'm blacking them out.
Well, I knew I was gonna do that, but I was like, even just to get the borders and like put in some elements, because I knew it'd be that highlight from the moon would catch the top of the mountain, but everything else
Yeah.
would get pretty black. So
That's awesome. That perspective is really good, man.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Love it.
General Piggy. Appreciate it.
Down
Yeah,
into the
pretty fun.
valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look up here, you see them like they're walking this way. So then they're basically off over here, coming towards the cabin.
Oh, okay.
So you see the
Nice.
cabin there.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
same cabin, different perspective.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Man,
I
that's
pretty
really
much
good.
like almost literally right before we went on finished this one. So
Nice.
I put it aside now and work on something else. But since I was finished, I'm like, well, I got to show this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, show your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah,
Show it myself.
now I'm gonna grab something that you're gonna hardly see because it's pencils, and I'm gonna start inking it. So yeah,
And then we get to
you
see
can
it.
de-big in me. Well, I guess if you want to see it, I worked on this actually last time I was on your show.
Oh,
Remember
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
So you start inking on this Cole page.
Mhm.
So basically, working on two stories at once, and it's fun to go back and forth because I don't know, it keeps you fresh and drawing different characters and stuff. So
Oh yeah, that's what I started doing too. I was working on that Hammerlock story and doing
Right.
pages on that, and then I just let me draw, my Lolo and Riggs story, and then I started drawing that again, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh man, I missed it, so now I started writing that because I want to have the story down for the first issue. So I have a general idea of what the first two issues
yeah,
of Lolo and Riggs is going to be. Where's my other dang pad? So
nice. Let's see if I can.
don't want to draw. Well, maybe I'll just use this shitty paper. I want to do a layout of a mock cover is what I'm going to work on.
Heck yeah.
And then if I like it, then I'm just going to draw the cover. Because I figure if I do the cover first, I can make it'll look like a comic cover. I could use it as a comic cover, but then I also can sell it as a pinup too.
Very
Well,
true.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So
Mhm.
that's the idea. That's
Yeah.
the
None
plan.
of this animal goes to waste.
Exactly.
The whole thing.
I remember I had a piece of art that I used for promotion, but it was also in one of the pages of my first trial comic. And
Yeah.
someone was saying, hey, that looks like a piece of reused art. And I was like, anything wrong with that? I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
you did it.
Mine,
Yeah.
I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
did it.
I mean, I guess if I saw like a panel in a comic and then the same panel in another comic, I'd probably be like, hey, what the heck?
Yeah, exactly.
Using your own art.
Shenanigans going on there.
Evan, thanks for coming to the stream. Do you know Danganronpa? I've heard of it. I just know of that like teddy bear thing that's like half black, half white.
Mhm.
Otherwise than that, man, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't know none of that. I don't know.
It's an anime and it's also a game, or maybe it's game, then it's a game, then it's an anime. I'm not too sure.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and we'll add my camera. And then I know I gotta adjust this thing because it never saves the settings for me.
Oh yeah, you always got to go in and set it up before the stream starts. Yeah.
Gotta shut these off. And then it's all out of whack too. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Speaking of anime, I'm really surprised at how much live action anime adaptations are getting a really bad rap. But
yeah,
I know if it's on Netflix, it's already going to be bad. They're going to, reskin everybody or change characters from male to female and say, like Resident Evil, the latest TV show. It's like, we got Black Wesker now. It's like, huh? That happened?
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like the people like the source material. It's popular because they like the source material. Like, just stop. Just stop it. Just give them that.
That's what everybody wants,
Like, two of my favorite all-time live-action anime are Gantz. They made 2 live-action movies of that. And even though they kind of veered off into their own thing, it was still very good. And then Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, that movie was crazy, epic, and accurate.
Huh.
So they did it really good.
I didn't even know they did that one.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can tear this out.
They got everything down to Phoenix Wright's assistant, the psychic.
Mm-hmm.
So she would see like flashbacks of people that died in the court case and all that. It was really good.
Nice.
But Bleach, I can't account for. Full Metal Alchemist, live action, I can't account for.
Sometimes I'm like, why?
Yeah.
They try to do a live action and like an anime on top of it, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes they'll do the hair, and it's like, well, come on, like you can't get the hair in live action. It looks like a wig. It doesn't look natural at all.
Exactly.
You got a Japanese dude with a blonde hair. I'm like, all right, buddy, yeah, sure, whatever you say, whatever you say, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they just expect us to go with it on some of that stuff.
So I'm thinking on this one, I think I'm gonna have my turtle robot drawing the first. He's gonna be fighting the first monster.
Cool monsters, my favorite.
So his name is Tentacrude because he's an octopus made of oil.
Nice. Good combination.
Crude.
Tentacrude.
I hope his personality matches that name.
And I'm doing the monsters are gonna be different. They're gonna be kind of in my style, so more like, probably more like the more simpler, like Tetsujin 28 Gigantor or like Astro Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is what I'm gonna go for here. Because I want them to be fun. I don't want them to be a pain in the butt to draw. So
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that some artists, they'll come up with a character that's almost impossible for other people to duplicate.
Smart.
not if you ever want to retire and have the book keep going.
Yeah, I know, right? You're gonna have to spread the wealth.
Hmm. But sometimes people can do a good, a good job on other stuff too. Like it depends. Like you'll grab somebody who has a different style, and they'll do you have a great take on like your character.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's cool seeing all the different, like when somebody else will do a different version or their version of Cyberfrog, and not necessarily like change him too much, but just do it in their style. And almost looks like a totally different character, kind of, but it's Cyberfrog because he has the way he looks, and that's kind of fun. I think that's very fun.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah, like no, it's and then 80s was talking about everybody drawing Death Angel, and he's like, how cool it feels to have somebody draw something that you created, like other artists draw stuff you create, and then I'm like, yeah, that's the coolest thing ever, man.
Yes, indeed. I'm even scouting right now, like, and even thinking of people artists that I could commission to do like a one-off piece to add to a campaign when I do launch Virgin Kill Paradox. So.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going on Elliot's show in the morning.
Nice.
And that's basically what he's been doing, I'm pretty sure he's got something he wants to get going, but he's really been making his name by drawing a lot of just CG characters, and oftentimes he's been used on covers and for promotional stuff, so. So yeah, there are artists out there that would do. I mean,
I feel like
that's I'm not busy. I'd be down for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to do some fan art of Gymshock, because like as soon as I saw that character, I was like, well, yeah, I'm already a fan. But I feel like I want to read the book to understand the mannerisms and how the character is presented, so that way I could kind of feel the pose and the atmosphere when I do create it. Do the fan art.
Yeah, because I always do the fan art contest before you really know the characters.
Yeah.
All you get is like a couple images or something, and you're like, I think that's what they would be doing right now.
Yeah.
So I did one for Blaster Kid, which is Richard Friend's book that he's just now tearing into, but this was like years ago that I did it. And he went through on his YouTube channel and pulled up everybody's, and he was kind of commenting on that. He's like, yeah, I only had like one image for you guys to go off of. So like everybody was all over the place with how we were interpreting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we did I did the projectile reptile contest for Dojo Kun. He hired me to do some work, so I did an image for projectile reptile, not knowing anything. Like I just had like one picture to go off of.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so this is what I did, and then let's go with this. See what the chat says. General Piggy says, I watched the Death Note one, funny but a bit of a joke compared to the anime. Yeah, sometimes like, why bother?
So with that Death Note, there's one on Netflix, and then there's I think there's 4 movies of a Japanese-made Death Note live action too.
Oh wow!
Which is better, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of the CGI, obviously, of Ryuk isn't the best, but the acting and,
But better than the Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very into anime. I've talked about this before. I love the old stuff that I got into, but my daughters are borderline weebs, and they love Death Note, and then they're like, watch the Netflix one. They just talk crap about it the whole time. So I'm like, I'll take your word for it. I have no base of reference.
Yeah.
I did that. So Dojo hired me to do a piece for him. I did the piece for him that he uses on the promotional stuff, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And then I wanted to do the art contest. So I was like, okay, you know what? I feel like I already drew projectile reptile. I'm gonna draw, and the trailer mentioned Kitty Hawk, so I was like, I'm gonna draw Kitty Hawk. I know nothing about her. Like I just one image on the thing. So I'm like, I'm gonna draw a chick with big ass guns. So that's what I did. And he was like, "Well, you're supposed to draw a projectile reptile for the contest." I was like, I didn't feel like drawing them, so this is what I got.
Well, wait a minute. You're like a stable artist in his world, so like you shouldn't be doing the fan contest. Come on.
I just did it because it was fun and kind of get the name out there, and plus some of the judges, that he was gonna have on there, and I was like, cool. He was gonna have Irene, and
I wanted them to see my work.
Exactly, yeah, and then also Joe Sontag was the judge too.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, cool, I want these guys to see my work. And I thought they're going to do a stream like Gabe did. Like Gabe, when he did his, he does the stream, or like Fractoba, they do the stream. They go through all the entries, they talk about them and whatever. I guess it was just something that he sent out and they did it off camera. And then here's the winners, and I was like, oh, damn.
All right, Dojo.
Yeah,
you do a fan contest, you got to do a stream about it.
I wanted to see what they were going to say about my art, is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, here's
that's
free.
half the point is you put it out there. You want the creator to be like, oh, look at this from so and so.
Yeah,
That's
like, that's a free critique by experts. So I was like, cool, man. Like, let me do that. So plus I wanted to draw. I was drawing anyway, so I'm like, well, let me draw something out of my comfort zone, which is a chick.
That's what you were working on. The original projectile reptile was what you were working on the first time I met you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and then, but the first time I heard your name was on the Truth, Justice, American Way fan art contest, because we both submitted.
That was some sick ones that were on that. Sometimes I see this stuff too, and it's just like, dude, why do I bother? What am I doing here?
Well, I know you submitted for Vaughn's for. I can't think of the new book.
Terror in the Trenches.
MD. Terror in the Trenches.
Yeah.
And I really liked your piece, but then I started looking at all these submissions. I'm like, God damn, like, it's amazing.
I'm like, I'm going home. I'm taking my ball and going home, man.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I kind of tiptoed around a lot of contests because trying not to get my feelings hurt. No, I'm kidding. But I think I've gotten a little bit better with taking criticism and improved and learned what I could. I've mentioned it at least on, I think, one stream, is that I appreciate the person that's going to criticize me and stay around to see what progress has been made. I've dealt with some people that criticize and then they're just gone. It's like, okay.
Well, that's basically, I think that's the difference, is like somebody has your best interest in mind. They want to see the growth,
Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah, no, and criticism always sucks. Now, if I don't care about the person's opinion, then it's like, well,
it is what it is.
Yeah, then I don't care.
Yeah.
You mean nothing.
That's why some people are like, oh, even like the stuff that Eric's going through right now, and he's just dunking on these fools. But it's like, they're giving critiques. It's like, fool, you weren't going to buy the book anyway. Your opinion don't mean shit.
Well, that's the whole point. So I've talked to people about that. I'm like, if the point is to entertain,
Mm-hmm.
And if you got people coming back regularly, you're entertaining. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't do that just because.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like, because he has a YouTube and because he does other stuff, and it's always been focused around like pop culture and comics and stuff. So like even these, these nerds don't even know that half the time.
Right.
But they're like, oh, well, you've won this because, or you've made this much money, not because of the quality of the comic, but because of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So?
Well, and that's the thing. People trust that the quality will be there. I mean, it's a new book. They don't know.
Yep.
I mean, that's the first book of anything. But they trust it because they've got to know your character, your personal character.
And one of the things I noticed too, one of my buddies, he was really good at writing, and he was really good at freestyling. So I noticed, like, if you have people that are good at freestyling and they can write down their own script or write down their own lines and stuff, they're
Yeah.
probably good at storytelling to a degree. I'm not saying all, but
Right, but
those
it
kind
makes
of go
sense.
hand in hand.
Exactly. Well, and just if you feel like somebody's a creative person, you know, you go, okay, I think they got something in them that's going to make something fun because I can feel the creativity off their personality or something, you know.
Exactly.
Like all that stuff can help. It's not the only thing because I've met, or not met, but listened to or seen or maybe met some people that seem really boring on the surface, but are have this intense creativity underneath, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know, but it's definitely a better sign that if somebody seems creative, they probably are.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
And also the way he went about it was different, and I think that's what made it more trustworthy was that the product is done. He hired professionals to draw ink, color. I'm sure whoever he was working with, he was probably like sending people drafts, because he has his they're in the community, so I'm sure you could send something to, hey EVS, what do you think about this? Hey so and so, hey Graham Nolan, what do you think about this? Even like, hey Chuck Dixon, what do you think about this? And I'm sure he's getting feedback from like these professionals too that are kind of directing him in the right direction. So you have, sure, he did the story and the concepts and stuff, but then he surrounded himself with these professional people that are in the industry that know what they're doing. And I don't see Eric as a guy that's going to be like, well, you said this, you don't like my thing, go to hell. I feel like, okay, let me change that because you're a professional and I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to make the best product I can. So having the book done by professionals, not worrying about doing any crowdfunding, that is going to be in hand when the thing closes, it's shipping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's huge.
The worst part is the book sucks. Like, that's the worst part of the whole thing is that the book sucks. All right, well, the book wasn't that good. But it's not like you're not getting scammed. You're not going to not get your product. It's going to be there. Like,
even if it wasn't, like the thing that people are getting mad about is bullshit because, who cares what other people do with their money? None of your damn business. Like if I want to, even if it was a scam, let's just say it was. If I want to donate to a scam, none of your damn business.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a scam. I'm just saying. I know it's not, but I'm just saying. Like, I think it's ridiculous that people get so interested in everybody else's business. It's like, mind your own damn business. It's all just.
There's this one guy out there now. He's like one of the most prolific scam artists, at least for the past 13 years or so. This guy named Dr. Umar Johnson, who promised to build a school for young black boys. 13 years later, he's raised millions of dollars through Cash App, PayPal, froze his funds, allegedly. And there's still no school up. So there's some amazing scam artists out there.
Yeah. No, and I mean, that's a shame. I get that.
Yeah. And clearly, Eric July is not one of them. He's doing the work.
Well, and even still, like, I've had things come back to bite me that I've paid for, you just learn your lesson, I mean,
yeah,
I get it. There's some assholes, making money off the generosity of other people, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But again, you get wise, you get savvy, and do your best to vet whatever you're giving money to.
Yep. Finding myself enjoying so many original content artists and artists that create comics on the indie circuit compared to going to a store buying Marvel and DC stuff. I mean, I don't mind waiting, even if they're delayed. I know it's going to be better than what I'm probably going to buy at the comic book shop.
It's also
your money is going to somebody who's going to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
That's why I do mom and pop stuff all the time.
You get to see the process. You get to speak with the creator.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And it's one thing that they're forgetting. They're like, oh, well, it's $35 for a comic. It's like, you don't understand. It's a premium product. You're not going to be able to get this. You could probably buy the book later, which is fine. But you're not going to get this one that I'm getting you know what I'm saying? So this is the premium product. You can read the story, you can do digital, but you're not going to have this physical copy of this one unless you get it on eBay after the thing is done, and you're going to pay more than I paid for it. So they don't realize it's a premium product that you are getting, a limited, time product that you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the premium, like you said, of crowdfunding, is that if it ever does go into stores, most of us are going to be utilizing this, and it's not going to go, second or third print. But that's not necessarily true, because Chris Fisk just did that with his Infinitail.
Yeah, I mean,
he sold out of all those copies, and then he's like, okay, the second one I'm going to put out, it's not going to be as nice, and I'm going to do it through Amazon. It'll be cheaper, but it won't be that premium one that the first backers get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the ground floor, they get that.
That's part of the fun too,
Oh yeah, for sure.
The more options, the better, right?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think again, like my kids will always want to go to like a chain restaurant or something. Like, hey, can we go here? Can we go there? And I'm always pushing them towards a mom and pop place. I'm like trying to explain to them, like, look, if we go to Red Robin, money goes into the big pool. But if we go to this place, we'll probably have somebody who, their actual ownership is the person waiting on you or something.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
And it can be a roll of the dice. It's not always good, but you don't know till you try. And I found some really amazing places through doing that, though. Of course.
Yeah. They'll appreciate you. They'll remember you if you keep coming by.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Even sometimes if it's a chain restaurant too. Like we have a Salsaritas by us, and it's a chain, but it's locally owned. It's a franchise.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been going there since my daughter was she's 4 now. We've been going there since there was 2. And that was actually the first time she ate kind of solid food. We gave her guacamole just to see what she would do, and she ate it up. She's
nice.
addicted to guac, dude. It's so that's her place. So every time we go there, they know us.
Yeah.
And I always give her a little treat or something and talk to her for a bit, and so it's that's something that you're not going to get if you go to a place. This is an exception because it is a chain, but it's a franchise. It's not that big of a place, so that's kind of it does feel like it is a small mom and pop place, even though it is a franchise, because of the way they treat everybody in there.
Yeah.
Well, and again, when going back to the comic book analogy, is Marvel and DC aren't treating you like that. So you're not going back. You're not going back no more.
Yep.
You're like, oh, they got too big for their britches. I mean, there's a few chain restaurants that I absolutely loved, and somewhere along the line, all the quality dipped, everything went to shit. And I'm like, well, I'm done going here. I kept trying, kept giving them chances. And I'm like, you changed the recipe, you changed your culture. Everything was different.
Yeah, now it's
not that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, it's not that good anymore. I'm done. I'm not giving you another chance.
Exactly.
Burn the bridge.
You're I'm done. I'm done going to eat here, Red Robin, because there is one near me that has never been good. Every time I go there, it's just trash. And I used to love Red Robin.
Right.
But
I remember when it was good too. Yeah.
Just this one in particular, it's never, and it's an arm and a leg too. It's dude, all right, here's my kidney. So fries were cold, what? And that's like saying, listen, I keep going to this Red Robin, it's not good. I'm gonna go over here, and then you have some Red Robin stand saying, "You're a bigot." No, man.
You don't want our crappy food?
Yeah.
You bigot.
How dare you?
Yeah, guilt trip people into eating crappy food.
That's what it is. They guilt trip people into crappy comics. That's guilt tripping them into eating shitty food.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much a similar analogy, but it's anything, if there's been tools and stuff, hey, there was a time when this is a premier name, and then it went downhill, They started cutting corners, they started making crappy product, and you're like, all right, I'm done with you, man.
I mean, it happens with anything else in any other industry. If you're in the computer industry, whatever, you know what I mean? You have a company that makes good product, the product starts sucking, they start slipping, people leave. It just happens. But apparently for Marvel and DC, it's wrong if it happens to them. It's no, that's capitalism. That's business.
Yeah.
It is business as capitalism, and
Just
that's why I
because you
like
get-
capitalism, because it's like it forces people to be honest. You know?
Yeah, it's like just because
Exactly.
they got Spider-Man, I should buy Spider-Man. Like, go to hell, man. You know?
Right. I love Spider-Man, but you done screwed it up. So
Yeah. It's at this
Yeah,
point, it's like I'll make
exactly.
my own Spider-Man. Like, I don't need your Spider-Man. I don't need Cryptacular Spider-Man.
Cryptaculars.
Yeah, ABS came up with that one. I was like, oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I can't keep up with them anymore.
They're beating the dead horse, man. Spider-Man sells. Let's make 80 of them. We got the Spider-Verse now. It's like, oh, it's nothing special anymore.
No.
All right, let's see. General Piggy says, my main issue with Marvel and DC is that there is no clear storyline. At this point, Batman and Spider-Man get rebooted every other year. Where do you start?
yeah,
And I think that's the
Yeah.
one thing that manga and why it does so well, is that you usually have one voice throughout the series, and they're not, you know what I mean? They're not kicking. I mean, what was it? Go 13. The guy was drawing him for 60 years. The same guy drawing him and writing every story.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think he like passed away last year. I mean, this guy's like smoking and and drawing and just what and it's just you got one voice, and they're doing the story, and when that story's done, it's done, and then now that guy will jump to something else and do something else or come back to it.
Exactly.
Well, and I think
They're
it can
not
work
handling
if the successor loves it. You know, you have to love it.
Mhm.
You know, and if you don't have that reverence for what came before in taking on a new character or something, I mean, forget about it. You'll lose a fan base easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost think like that's what they're better off doing. Like, oh, you want to tell a Spider-Man story? Cool. Here, tell your Spider-Man story. Oh, okay. Hey, my Spider-Man story is 12 issues. It's done. It's gonna be in year 3000. He's gonna be half robot, and he's gonna be fighting vampires. All right, cool, man. Like it's just a story. Like that's just a story, man. Okay, cool. Then, all right, you want to do is tell the Spider-Man story? Yeah, I'm gonna tell a classic Spider-Man story where he's married with Mary Jane and he's gonna fight Dr. Octopus. All right, 3 issues, cool, man. And I almost feel like they're doing that because there's no continuity at all. Anyway, let's just go crazy. Fuck it, throw it out the window.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think they should in it. This is what I would do, I guess, but like interview any potential candidate for a mainstay character. Be like, why do you want to draw Spider? You know, like not just here's our favorite person to use or something.
Yeah, it's almost like instead of interviewing them, and they do this with like some of the MCU directors, instead of interviewing them out in public for the world to see how they feel about stuff, they just give them a script. And you got someone that says, oh, I was always a She-Hulk fan, so I want to have She-Hulk focused on doing laundry. Spider-Man did that in Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire. You know, that's nothing new nor special or relevant to the story. So,
and it's not even where it's like when they were like Sam Raimi's doing Spider-Man. I was like, dude, yeah, like cool, man. Let's see what Sam Raimi does with Spider-Man. Now it's like here's a She-Hulk movie. By the way, it's directed by this person. Like who?
Why should we care?
You could replace that person with anybody.
Yeah,
you know, and and they don't let people like directors do their stuff. Like it's just there was a sin with Shang-Chi. Like if they kept their mouth shut and they just put Shang-Chi out, they were promoting it on the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah.
Like I found out, like watching the behind the scenes, and we rented it or whatever, and they were talking, and I was watching something. The head of the stunt team of Shang-Chi, and like the guy who played Shang-Chi, dude, like he did everything. Like he was doing all types of shit. Like the guy got
cool,
props. Wow. The guy got in really good shape. The stunt team were members of Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
The head of the stunt team, if you ever seen Jackie Chan's what is it? He's dressed all in white and he fights a dude at a paper factory. It starts with a G. It's like it's and he fights this short white guy at a paper factory. I don't think it's glorious. I don't think it's glamorous. Oh man, I gotta Google it now. The guy he fights was the head of the stunt team for Shang-Chi. Okay. So they had like Jackie Chan stunt guys training and doing all that shit.
Wow.
But they're like, oh, us Asians, like it's like, dude, promote it with that and people will go see it.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, didn't the main actor, Sulim, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but didn't he say like this was like the first groundbreaking, momentous thing for like Asian films or something like that? He said something outlandish. It was like, what about Jackie Chan, Donnie Yen? I mean,
Bruce Lee, Chow Yun Fat, like come on, man.
We've been watching Bruce Lee movies in the States for a long time now.
Jet Li, like, you know, Sammo Hung, like dude. So they were just so when,
Chow Yun Fat and Jet Li, I'd say were the and Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah,
but those three, they really set the tone, man.
So I was excited to see a kung fu movie in the Marvel universe is what I wanted.
Exactly.
I wanted a kung fu movie in the Marvel universe, and it's like they almost like stripped all the cool stuff out of it. And it was like, I mean, it was okay. It was a solid B. I give it a B-, but it was a movie. I was like, okay, cool, but it wasn't.
Well, it got a lot of crap, and I actually enjoyed it. I was like, but I wouldn't give it anything more than a B.
I mean, even like at the
last time I gave Marvel anything more than a B.
It's like there's no personality. They're like, it's almost like they whitewash all the personality out of all these movies. Yeah,
they whitewash it. Yeah,
right.
And the whole point of Shang-Chi was just for him to get the 10 rings. I'm sorry, 10 bangles.
Yeah,
bangles.
They couldn't get the ring straight.
I mean, they did some cool stuff with that. I thought that was creative, and especially in the aspect, you can do some really cool. Because I thought of like Kung Fu Hustle when he was wearing them. I'm like, all right, I'm down. I'm like, okay, you know, because to me, rings on your hands kind of feminine, you know. So like that was like, I was like, okay, cool, that makes sense. And he was doing all kinds of, but they were just like, even like that they built that little town that they fought in at the end of the movie, like physically they built that, and I was like, cool.
Wow. Yeah.
But then you were there and you're like, I know this is a soundstage, I know this is green screen, like the CGI in this area ain't even that great. Like it's like they didn't want to commit to it or something. Like it was weird.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So I wanted them, they should just be like, here's Shang-Chi, let's give it to a Hong Kong director. Direct Shang-Chi, dude. And okay, and then they just let him fucking wild out.
They should have, yeah.
But it's like they don't want to do that. So now it doesn't matter who directs Marvel movies because they're all the same.
Yeah. And they had their first attempt with like martial arts with Iron Fist TV series, and I mean,
my soul, bro.
It was entertaining. That's the best I can give it.
The girl was really good, man.
Yeah.
Like the girl came out like a star. Like the girl was really good.
Yeah, and not to take away from what's his name, who was part of 300, and he ended up being the main villain or whatever. From Meacham Corporation, the father. Yeah, he was so funny, man. Like I started forgetting that this was like supposed to be a martial arts like TV series. Just the corporate power play, I thought was just priceless. I'm a sucker for those Gordon Gekko types and all that.
Oh, Gorgeous. That was the name of the movie, the Jackie Chan movie, Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Okay.
He has this fight scene with this dude, and it's a good fight scene. And he's the head of the stunt team that was doing all this the Shang-Chi stuff.
Nice. I actually got to play catch up with Jackie Chan movies because I caught his stuff, I think, up until Operation Condor. Because I saw Super Cop, Rumble in the Bronx, Jackie Chan's First Strike. I saw the one he did with Pierce Brosnan a couple years back. Was it The Foreigner?
The Foreigner. That one was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan can act.
Yep. They've been doing it for a long time.
So that's what I want. I was hoping that this would be like, here's Marvel's tribute to Hong Kong martial arts. That's what I was hoping Shang-Chi was. And it was like, well.
Yeah, not really.
Okay. I mean, it was okay. Yeah, that was all right. But yeah, Iron Fist was bad, man. Oh my God.
Iron Fist. Horrible.
I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I can't believe they casted this dude.
Well, I watched the entire thing. I think it was 2 seasons. And
well, here's the thing.
Everything else was cool about it except him. Like, I kind of liked everything else.
Season 1 was so bad, it made season 2 great.
Yeah.
That's what really shocked me, because I have this mode where, like, if a movie is bad and it's looking bad, I'll find something to laugh at and try to make it entertaining that way. But
Yeah.
I know it's already downhill.
Thanks for coming in, General
series are
Piggy. We
different.
appreciate you, man.
Good night, General.
All right.
And he also likes shrimp nachos from Salsaritas and Attack on Titan.
Nice. Yeah, I got to go back and watch Attack on Titan. First time I watched it, I was like, "Why is everybody so depressed in this series?"
It was rough, man. I
You know?
watched like 2 episodes, and once they started biting people in half, I'm like, I can't watch this, dude. Like, I can't.
Yeah, so I started strapping some resistant bands to the door, so I was going through all the episodes while working out. I was like, okay, we can work with this, but I didn't have any desire to revisit it. But a lot of people are praising it now with the level that it's at. So
Yeah.
I remember liking it. It's been a long time, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a tough one. And even now, what kind of frustrates me is like when I watch a good anime, TV show, or movie, I want to see a good Marvel animated movie, and all I got is what?
Oh yeah.
Thor versus Hulk, X-Men, the '90s cartoon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, that's probably their best for sure. I liked
Yeah.
Spidey and Friends when I was a kid.
oh yeah, Spider-Man. Yep.
My daughter loved watching that. We're watching
So did
Spider-Man
mine.
and their friends.
I had 3 girls. My youngest was a baby, and the other 2 were like 4 and 6.
Nice.
And they were, my oldest went as Iceman. It's my daughter's. The oldest went as Iceman. The middle daughter went as Firestar. And then
Okay.
my youngest went as Spider-Man. And his little like baby Spider-Man outfit with a mask. It was
Yeah.
like torture putting that mask on her. Just go crazy. I'm like, no, you got to do it for a picture at least. She's like, not even one or one. But yeah, they loved that show. They loved the Dungeons and Dragons show too. I showed them that shit when they were young. Like, you guys
yeah.
got
Dungeons and Dragons show.
yeah, the cartoons from the 80s.
That was a cool one. We gotta
Oh.
go back and watch that.
Yeah, I never seen that.
Yeah, it was like typical
Yeah.
80s. You had a group of friends, and they all get sucked into the book. And there's this little like dwarf like wizard guy is like the dungeon master.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the
okay.
dungeon
I know what
master.
you're
He
talking about.
guides them, but they went on a ride at an amusement park. It's kind of
Oh.
a stupid concept. And then the ride took them into the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you had
okay.
it was everyday kids from our world now in Dungeons and Dragons trying to
That
stop
little
someone.
like barbarian kid with his pony. And
Yeah,
I can't remember their names. There was Cavalier, the acrobat.
Yeah, the acrobat chick. You had the night kid who was kind of a coward.
Yeah, that was the Cavalier.
Yeah, I
And,
haven't seen it since it came out, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a while. Even when my daughters watched it, it was more like, "Hey, you guys watch this while I get some housework done or something." Like I wouldn't pay
Yeah.
attention. But yeah, I grew up watching that. My oldest brother was a D&D player, and so
Mhm.
I thought that was the coolest ever. And then like He-Man, that was kind of like, "Hey, we've got our own cool thing," you know. He wouldn't let us touch his D&D stuff or look at it even, you know.
Right.
That stuff was like gold to him, his books and his miniatures and his dice, and so he's like, yeah. But then like He-Man came on, I'm like, now we've got our own, you know.
Got our own D&D fantasy stuff.
Yeah, well, and the D&D cartoon as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, not to talk about the dead horse subject, but as much as they claim that there needs to be diversity and all that now, I mean, that stuff was pretty diverse. You had something for everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's not like it didn't exist.
Well, and what's weird is like now they're like, oh, we want to have the sexuality of the characters be highlighted, and it's like, we never cared, you know, like
Yeah.
if the acrobat from D&D was lesbian, why would we ever know? I mean, they're teenagers for one. That doesn't ever need to come up.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to placate like weird adults that haven't grown up yet.
Pretty much, or that have some kind of issues about their childhood.
That's how I feel like they insert these agendas in the Disney stuff. I feel like they're not for kids. They're trying to attract the Disney adults. You know, those weirdos that go to, I mean, not this wrong with going to Disney once a year, but these guys go to Disney once a year and they dress up like the princesses, and you know what I mean. And they're like,
but when it's not
like
for the kids anymore,
yeah. Like, they have no kids. They just go. You know,
they have no kids. But it's for the adults, yeah. Whether they're weirdos without kids going, or even the ones that have kids, but it's like these are supposed to be for the kids, you know. Like,
yeah, my 4-year-old loves Baymax, but she can't watch the show because they got them buying tampons and having two queer guys,
God.
like, you know, two queer guys are like asking each other out and stuff, and it's like, dude, like I don't even want to expose her to any of this stuff. She's 4 years old, but she loves Big Hero 6. She loves the cartoon that was on Disney. It's actually really damn good that no one ever talks about. There's some pretty cool stuff on it, and you know, but now they have to have this weird stuff, and it's like, who's this for? Like, you want to put this in front of kids and be like, this is fun, kids. They're like, this sucks. What are you talking about, nerd?
Right.
Get away from me.
Well, it's like comedy. It's like all these things. Like the audience will tell you, like if they're belly laughing, that's, you know. And I'm like, when was the last comedy I watched where I was like belly laughing?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it was like Tropic Thunder. That was a long time ago.
Oh man, I love Tropic Thunder. You ever watched the commentary version?
No,
Where,
I bet it's hilarious.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. He stays in character the whole time after that. I was like, that is golden. Even now, with stand-up comedy, I mean, I'll watch Chappelle stuff, and I'll go back to George Carlin, like one of his last stand-ups, because it was not only hilarious, but it was scarcely true. You know?
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah, Carlin was amazing. I think comedy, there's a bounce back. You just gotta find the good comedians that don't care.
Yeah.
So there was a dark period in stand-up where everybody was worried about getting canceled, and you know.
And it's sad, you know, in this era that we still have Mel Brooks alive, and he's literally going to be faded out because his level of comedy was so grand and included a little bit of everything that, you know, if he even tried to make a movie, they'd probably try to cancel his funeral. You know, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Off of Mel Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, Mel Brooks was just funny, naturally super funny.
He leaned into the stereotypes that everybody knew. That's why it was so relatable.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Like we're
like, that's right.
Do.
And everybody got it.
Bugs Bunny did that. One of my favorite comedians, Norm's my favorite, but Don Rickles.
Oh yeah.
He would have nothing without stereotype jokes. But they were so funny, and he didn't excuse himself, you know.
Yes.
Like he was Jewish, he made probably more Jew jokes than he did anything else. As it should be, and it was funny. I mean, the guy was hilarious. But he had his he had a black guy voice. I remember Chris Rock saying that. He's like, oh, he'd always go into his black guy voice. And then nowadays, people are like, oh, that's such a racist voice. I'm like, well, Chris Rock wasn't offended by it. You know, like,
and it's not like it was an effeminate voice either. You know what I mean?
No, it was definitely not effeminate.
No. It's usually the deepest voice that was done.
Yeah, it was. I just remember him going off on Muhammad Ali. It was one of the funniest things. But he was kind of poking the issues as well, you know?
Yep.
So I remember we went on Conan O'Brien, and you could see Conan's face turn like ghost white, which is always ghost white, but you know, it turned ghost. Well, Don Rickles is ripping on everybody. He's giving everybody a hard time. And then he looks over and he goes, and it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. He was like, "Oh, you got a black brother in the band," and Conan's face is like, "No, please don't," you know. And he's like, "How's it going, black brother?" And he was sitting like in the back. There was like a riser, and he was in the back row.
Mhm.
He's like, "I'm gonna talk to the Max Weinberg and move you up a couple rows." I just died. I'm like, that was a great joke, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's relevant. He was actually doing it on Martin, but you know, Conan was like, "Please don't do these kind of jokes." You could tell he was like, "You're gonna get us in trouble," and the dude was laughing his ass off, you know.
Mm. Heck yeah. Yeah, I think they really started pushing on comedians a lot more recently, especially after Ricky Gervais's performance at the Oscars.
Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good for him though.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, they got really scared for a while, and you could see like comedians were toning it down and being weird about doing their normal material.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm seeing them get back to normal. So.
Good. Yep. That's what we need.
I just remember Joey Diaz was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about the Jew comedians. He's like, "These fucking Jew comedians, man, they're crazy. They come over here from Israel, and they're like, and they're just crazy wild guys." And he's like, and they'll want to do Hitler jokes.
Oh my
like,
god,
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Joey Diaz is a trip.
Oh yeah, that guy never cares, and I love it.
I mean, it's just crazy to even think that, like, even back in the 90s, you had Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which, you know, definitely touched a degree or a level of sexuality with Jessica Rabbit. And
yeah, for sure.
because we're in the capitalist society, hey, another Hollywood studio says, let's make our version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but make it even darker in the form of Cool World.
Yeah, Cool World. They got Ralph Bakshi on that. Oh yeah, I remember watching that fairly young and going like, dang, this is hot. That's a cartoon. What the hell?
And Kim Basinger too. She was like one of the top female villain at the time, coming off of Batman.
Oh right. Or no, that was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer was in Batman Returns. Kim Basinger was the reporter in the 1980s.
Oh, the early one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Her and that other goofy reporter that she hung with. And
yeah,
then
that one again. It's been a bit.
Huh?
So I need to watch that one again. It's been a bit.
Oh yeah.
I want to watch Batman Returns again too. I love that one.
Yeah, I like them both. You know, once it gets to Batman Forever, it's personal preference at that point. But
I gave up on that.
Yeah.
I did like Batman Begins a little bit, but almost didn't seem like a Batman movie.
Yeah.
It was like, it's a good movie, but it's not really feel like Batman.
Oh yeah, no. Not high caliber.
Yeah. But then I did like Dark Knight. But...
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Dark Knight, Batman Begins. That's like one of the very few movies I saw in the theater like 4 times.
Dark Knight?
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, yeah.
And then I was like, man, that thing is so good. Dark Knight came and went, and I was pissed I didn't see it in the theater. I was so mad. I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, I don't think I saw Batman Begins in the theater, but I remember when I did finally get to watch it, I was like pretty stoked about it, and that's what got me excited for Dark Knight. So I did see that in the theater.
Yeah,
I think in Dark Knight Returns, he found the voice that he was looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the new suit and everything, you know, I was like, oh, cool, this is great. Batman can move his head. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman Returns was that's still my favorite.
Yeah, it's good. I like the first one.
Yeah.
I do like just Batman '89. That's probably my favorite, just because you could sell the practical stuff that they used in it.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, like I said, the I want to say Graham Nolan, but the Nolan trilogy is really good too. But it's like
Graham Nolan.
the Graham Nolan trilogy. If only, right?
What is it? Chris Nolan? I can't remember his name.
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Christopher
Yeah.
Robin.
Like Chris Nolan. That didn't sound right, but I was like Christopher. There you go.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking those ones that I'll never watch. Yeah.
It was yeah, I mean, they were great, and Joker was really good.
Mhm.
You know, but to me, it wasn't. I mean, they're good, but I haven't watched them again. But there's just something about Batman '89, and then also Batman Returns with the Christmas.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, dude.
Well, I thought the villains were killing it in the first two. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Danny DeVito were just awesome. You know.
Even Christopher Walken. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Christopher Walken was great. I will say I do like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely one of the
So
best.
he's definitely my favorite commissioner.
but he would have been a great villain, though.
Oh yeah, he could have been anybody. He could have been a good
He could have been, yeah, anybody.
any of them.
Yeah.
He would have been a cool Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that,
Two-Face, man, he could have played
Yeah.
anybody.
Clayface.
Name it. You're like, here.
Yeah, he would have been a good Two-Face as well.
yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't mind a lot of the villains in the which one was it? Batman Begins.
Mhm. Scarecrow.
Wait, not Batman Begins. Batman
Batman Forever.
Forever?
Forever. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that the one with
and
Jim Carrey and
that one.
I just think-
Two-Face.
Tommy Lee
the
Jones?
Riddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just
Yeah.
it was such a hard shift. And I think
Well, the
I
movie
think
sucked, but
it was
I
just
did
like
not
here you had like dark Batman, and then they went to like modern 1960s Batman is pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't do it very well.
No.
That was the problem.
And I think that's what they told him. They were like, yeah, Joe Schumacher, this is like a movie for kids, or you know what I mean? Or let's sell toys. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. There's a few lines from Jim Carrey that I just thought were great.
Mhm.
Because there's the one, and he does this thing with his voice. It's like death metal, but he goes, "If knowledge is power,
Oh yeah.
God,
Yeah.
I."
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was one of my favorite things of the whole movie. I'm like,
I
well,
almost
that
think
was badass.
I almost think they didn't need two villains.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they overdid it with villains, and then the Batman Robin one. I mean, they were all horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Except
is
for
Mr.
Arnold.
Freeze.
He did
Except
a
okay.
great job.
He was the best. Okay, you're right.
They're like, if we want you to be Arnold, okay.
Yeah.
Well, can he be anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he say "ice to see you"?
Yes.
No, that was
Pretty
the
sure he did.
Simpsons.
Mhm.
No, he had a different one, but I think the Simpsons did "ice to see you." But he'd be like, "Think you need to cool down" or something.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Really, you motherfucker.
Man, if that's how he was a villain, I'd hate to see him as a doctor. You know? Did y'all ever hear about? There was at least one YouTube breakdown of like the first 4 Batman movies from 1989 all the way to Batman and Robin, and apparently they had plans to make a 5th Batman movie that was going to feature all of the villains from every single movie, but
really?
Batman and Robin had crashed and burned so bad, they just scrapped the idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they want to get everybody back, and I think they were going to do Scarecrow or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to be like in they kind of did it in Dark Knight Rises, where they have like they bring him to the court, kind of,
Oh, yeah.
you know. But it was going to be like they're going to bring him to the court, and everybody
Wasn't
was
that not
Joker.
really even
Everybody was going
him?
to.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be like in his mind
Oh, okay.
with Scarecrow.
Okay.
Like Scarecrow was going to gas him, and it was going to be like this whole like, but it was going to be like, and then the jury is the judge's Joker and or whoever, like the judge's Scarecrow, and then you're going
That's
to have
right,
like the
yeah.
jury was going to be Penguin, Catwoman, like Two-Face, Riddler, like everybody, and like all the villains and stuff that he's fought throughout the whole show, the whole movie series is what it was going to be. And at this time, there was no like Marvel Universe, there was no like nothing like that. So if they're able to pull it off, but I think it would have been, it just was way too expensive. And yeah, Batman and Robin just tanked.
Well, and that's proof in the pudding that you can have like a home run franchise. Because they took a chance on the first one. I mean, they really sunk a lot of money in it, but Batman wasn't like we picture him now, you know, as far as like a surefire property, you know.
Yeah.
Well, for movies, because they've never really done it. And that one killed it, Return killed it, and they had it like on a golden platter, and they changed the formula and screwed it all up, you know. And then pissed off the entire fan base.
Yeah, plus I heard Joel Schumacher was so busy having orgies or something that he kind of didn't care.
Well,
and he apologized, you know, pretty quickly. But what was it? Joe Rogan had mentioned this dude had like broke the record with like he was having like orgies with like over 1,000 men or something crazy. I guess when you're busy
that's
like
you want to
that,
be known for.
Yeah. You know, you could care less about, you know, how you direct Batman. Shit.
Right. Yeah, they already sent you the checks are clearing already. What's the point?
Yeah. You know. But that's the thing. This dude made one of my favorite movies in mid 1990s of Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. I didn't forget that was Schumacher.
You know, he went from, you know, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin to like Falling Down. That movie was a home run.
Well, and that one probably made like a quarter of what Batman and Robin made.
Yeah.
But it was a way better movie.
Yep. I just hope SJWs don't start attacking Falling Down.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
You know, I mean, technically in the movie he fought a Nazi, so
yeah, he beat up the Nazi. He didn't like his stance, and he was like, "Screw you."
Yep.
That Nazi guy.
That dude was off.
Are you kidding? They'd be like, Michael Douglas was part of the LGBTQ community. He was an ally.
What?
Yeah, maybe he was gay.
That's what they'd say. You know what they'd say. Are you kidding me? Him doing outrageous stuff? Yeah, he's one of us.
Oh man.
Yeah, Michael Douglas is gay in that movie.
They'd spin it, you know. He was that frustrated because of his closeted homosexuality. It's been like,
That's crazy.
That's right. It's all symbolic of homophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the one scene.
So yeah, that was a classic right there, and you know, simple concept. You know, an everyday man at war with the world.
Yeah,
and
that is
it's
breaking
like,
point.
Yeah, like every scenario he went through, somebody somewhere that saw the movie could relate. Whether it was
for sure.
trying to get changed, dealing with gang members, all that.
Well, he also did a good way of pointing out the dangers of following through with that as well. You know, so they didn't make it like a happy ending, like he just took on everybody and went home happy. You know?
No happy ending, not at all.
No, not at all. And then as a dad, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
no,
No.
But they also, you know, make a point of showing him as, you know, he's not a hero. He's a bit unhinged. You know, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can relate to him, but we also go, don't relate too much because.
Yeah.
He was unhinged.
'Tis true. 'Tis true. But yeah, I don't see what direction or what's salvageable with what Marvel's doing right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah. And now, like the mistakes that they're making, it makes like some of the Fox superhero movies look semi decent.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
now, you could probably say that Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is better than Black Widow.
Well, and that's what's funny. Like, who would have thought that we would be saying that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're like, yeah, you made the crappy versions look good.
I mean, if they were able to have Galactus in that one, I think it would have been a home run. I just think that was the big problem. Like, this is Galactus. You're like, what?
Damn cloud.
It's more like Galactus's fart.
And you had a legendary voice for Silver Surfer, Lawrence Fishburne. Like, come on,
Yeah,
Morpheus himself.
I didn't actually see it, so I can't speak to it.
Okay,
But I took one look, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna make me happy.
just watch the chase scene between Human Torch and Silver Surfer. That's all you need to know. That was the best part of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean,
Well, the thing is, I don't care about Fantastic Four as much as Silver Surfer, so like,
Agreed.
so I'm like, oh, if they screwed him up, like, I don't care. They always screw Fantastic Four up. That's part of the course. But
I think it's the easiest.
Yeah.
Right.
Think about it. Fantastic Four, they go on science adventures and fight sciencey bad guys like Doctor Doom and whatever, Mole Man, and that's all I got. Just Mole Man, but Doom is enough. I mean, they got like one of the best villains in like Marvel.
oh yeah,
period.
Dude, well, and Galactus too. Like two of my favorite villains.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, so I'm scared. I'm scared of what they do with Doom and if they bring him to the MCU. It's like, dude, they're gonna.
Yeah,
fuck
I know
him
they
up
keep
so
talking
bad.
about it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want you to because you're gonna just mess it up.
I
Now
would be-
I will say they did all right with Thanos.
It did.
I wasn't disappointed with the representation. So.
No.
Which
yeah.
one?
Thanos,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was then. This is now.
right? That was then. That was like on the edge of the downfall.
I mean, then they really couldn't do no wrong until like Endgame. It was actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
think that the only misstep was Captain Marvel because nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I actually hated Endgame. I loved Infinity War, and I actually really liked the first Avengers. And I know some people have mixed feelings about it, but I remember when I saw it in the theater because that was kind of like the turning point for me when I was like, comic book movies have arrived.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That battle between Hulk and Thor was one of the coolest things I ever saw.
and just seeing them all on the same screen at once, like when you were a kid,
Yeah.
you were like, dude, this
But
is
with
what you always
power,
wanted.
it wasn't like before where it was like bad CGI and everything. It looked pretty fluid.
Yeah,
And it looked like the Hulk battling Thor. And I was just like, or Iron Man versus Captain America in that field. Those are certain scenes where I was just like, this looks like the comic books coming to life. But I remember I got like misty eyed watching that. I was watching Hulk versus Thor, man, and I was like, this is why am I getting emotional about this?
Yeah. No
It
kidding,
looks
man.
real.
It's pretty
And
legendary.
I like Joss Whedon for the most part, so I was
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he did a fine job, and also a lot of the better MCU stuff was under Paramount before Disney got a hold of the reins.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, no, I mean, you can almost directly point to Disney being the moment when they changed.
Yeah. And Marvel's kind of living out the statement that was in Dark Knight, die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
They really
And,
are.
The first chance they got after Endgame, after having an epic villain that they coined Marvel's version of Darth Vader, the first thing they did is they put him in that damn What If series and turned him into a damn bartender. I was like, come on, bruh. I can't do it, man.
Because for the lulls, man. It's all for the lulls.
For the lulz.
Oh,
Well, that's
so
the other thing
mad.
that got really old.
everything was funny.
Yeah, I was
everything was funny. Everybody's cracking jokes. Everybody's Iron Man all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I don't
cracking
even remember
jokes.
Iron Man being that joke cracky.
No. The jokes
Everybody's
normally reserved
sarcastic.
for Deadpool and Spider-Man, you know?
Well, and what's funny is even Deadpool, when I first was reading him, I thought he was just a badass assassin dude, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was like one writer, I can't remember what his name was, but they had the Deadpool series and they really just dove into that. And I'm like, it's funny, but I was like, it's not really what I remember. Like when Rob Liefeld created him, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
He was kind of like that, but not to the extent that he's known for, you know.
Now, the What If series, the only redeemable 2-part episode worth anything to me, because I skipped past all that stuff.
I didn't even know such a thing existed, I guess. That's a TV show?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
There's a What If show. Wow. I didn't even know. That's how little I care. Like, I don't even know.
Well, basically, you know, they switched all the characters around. Peggy Carter was Captain Britain. Steve Rogers got the Iron Man suit.
Oh, they brought Captain Britain into things? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, T'Challa was Star-Lord, and some other people had switched roles, but like the last 2 episodes, I mean, that was like the best part. What if Ultron won? That was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, I like What If, so that sounds like it would be cool, but yeah, if they screw it up, like you said, just make it for the lulz, then I'm like, well, that's not the kind of What If I want, you know?
Yeah, what was it, Hydra Buster? Hydra Smasher?
Is that what it was called? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think it was badass, dude. I was like, okay, at least they gave Steve the giant, like the giant Hulkbuster suit, pretty much. It looked like the old school Iron Man, but like 3 times bigger with like a giant ass jetpack. Like they were looking at kaiju shit, you know, looking at giant robo and stuff. And they were drawing this dude, and I was like, I want that guy. Like I want that toy. That thing's badass.
Exactly.
And actually seeing, like, I feel like they really captured in terms of like Peggy Carter the stuff that a super soldier could do that you didn't see in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like when she's like stopping the trucks with the shield, like she's running at a truck and stopping the truck and lifting it over her head, and you know, and something. I was like, cool. Like, I wish Captain America did that shit.
Yeah.
You know, so that was kind of cool, and people said it was kind of woke, but I was like, I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I was like, okay, you know, we got a strong chick and she was cute, and then, you know, a giant ass robot. I was like, I'm in, man, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was neat, but then after that I couldn't watch any of them. Once I heard they cucked Thanos in a bar and shit, and T'Challa's like, why kill people? He's like, you're right, T'Challa, let's go have a beer. What I was like, once I heard about it, I didn't even watch it. I was like, all right, man.
They're up in there tapping martinis.
I think the last show that I gave a chance to was Hawkeye, and
oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like when you grab, you know what it's like? It's like watching what like 90s Judge Dredd is, when you have Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd and you pair him with annoying Rob Schneider, not even funny Rob Schneider, and he's annoying as fuck. That was Hawkeye. You have Clint Barton, who you've been with this whole time, that you finally like, cool, man, like let's hear about him. He's a family guy, he's the everyday man fighting all this galactic BS. The guy loses his family, gains him back, he's starting to go deaf. Like, all right, man, let's dig into this. No, here's this thought now you have to, like, you know what I mean? And I mean, granted, she did okay, and I guess she was more likable in the show than the books. I didn't read the book or whatever, but like, whatever her name was, who's going to be the new Hawkeye, it's like, I don't like her. I don't like her mother. I don't like anything they're doing with her. You're wasting my time. Just give me a show about Clint Barton.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want, you know? And it's just like, that was it. Like, that was the last, after watching Falcon Winter Soldier and then seeing Hawkeye, I'm like, I'm done. You guys don't know what the hell's going on. And they're going to ruin my boy Daredevil. They're going to totally fuck him up. I know it. I can feel it, man. And it's just going to, I can't even, I'm not even going to watch it.
And yeah, if the cast wasn't enough, let's throw in Black Widow's sister, too. just for shits and giggles. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then you had what? Echo, the female mob boss.
Yeah.
She's supposed to have her own series. So I
She's
was
all like Yas Queen and shit.
yeah, it was like, where in this series is this about Hawkeye?
Yeah.
So
They
confusing.
should have just had like him fighting the gangsters
Mhm.
and the maybe Echo, but the main conflict should have been Black Widow's sister.
Yeah.
And then have them, and don't make it what was it, 6 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Like they do these weird episodes, like 6, like make it 5 or make it 4. Don't get the padding out of there, and then let's just do a solid story. And it's just like, yeah, they just, dude, man, that was trash. And Falcon and Winter Soldier was so trash.
You know, my MCU viewership when it came to Disney Plus shows, I was all in for Scarlet Witch. I was like, we never seen her actual origin story. I like the different TV show parodies. You know, it's kind of nostalgic.
Mhm.
So I took it for what it was with that, and I get it, the Agatha all along thing, cool. But after that, yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier, I was like, okay. All of a sudden, Bucky saying, before Sam Wilson had the shield, he never thought a black man could carry the shield. What?
What?
Why is that a conversation? Last time I checked, these guys were arguing about Sam moving his seat up in Civil War.
Yeah.
That was funny. But
Yeah.
then you had a female super soldier who was like
Terrorist.
yeah, terrorist for the
Terrorist.
people, I guess. And they threw in their little quarantine stuff about, relocating people, typical Disney agenda stuff. I try to blow it off. I will say that I didn't like Kurt Russell's son as U.S. agent at first, but seeing him flip out and like lose his stuff once he got what he needed to define his character,
Mhm.
I was like, I could see him in something else, but I really still didn't like the show overall.
Yeah. The best thing to come out of it was U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I felt like he was kind of the most relatable, and to me, kind of made the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because here he is, a guy. I mean, he doesn't have super soldier serum. He got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a battle tested combat vet, Purple Heart, Medal of Honor, all this stuff. So the guy's legit. He's the real deal.
Exactly.
And this country asks him to be Captain America.
Heck of an honor.
Yeah, what's he gonna say? No. It's like, no, man. I have to serve. I serve my country.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try and fill these shoes because the world needs Captain America. So he's trying to do the right thing, and then he's there with his best friend. We're gonna do this together.
Mm-hmm.
They give him a shield and a gun. Hey, go catch these fucking terrorists, dude, with superpowers. Good luck, brother. Now, if he was rolling in, and here's where they fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
They could have had him rolling in. They could have gave him a 6-man team. Have him rolling in with Force Works.
That's
and
what
doing
Cap had.
And doing Black Ops shit. They should have had him doing like Black Ops, like just murking fools, like just shooting them with ARs and M16, M4s and shit, just grenades. Like they should have made him the ultimate Captain America is what they should have did. They should have made him the guy who will talk to you 1 second and throw a grenade in your face while you're fucking distracted.
Exactly.
Then they could have came like, hey, dude, you're like toned down. He's like, bro, I'm a soldier. This is what we're gonna do. Like you ain't gonna, But no, they pretty much everybody berated him. The guy's trying to do the right thing with no powers. They make him a joke any chance they get. His best friend dies in front of him, gets murdered in front of him, and he kills one of the terrorists. And everybody's mad at him now. It's fucking clown world. It is clown world, man.
Sympathy for terrorism. Imagine that.
And then the whole time, Sam Wilson's like, I gotta talk to her, man. We gotta save him. Oh man. Okay. Hey, let me put on the Captain America outfit. Trash. Look like trash. Wings and the shield, I will argue to the day I die, makes no sense. Because the wings can block bullets. his hands had guns. Now he doesn't have guns. Now he has a shield. It's like, why the
Mhm.
fuck would you like? I got wings. I can fly and I can have guns.
In fact, if you remember his body count in the beginning of Civil War, he killed like 15 people in the first 10 minutes of the thing. He was like launching missiles on people while he had his wings out as a shield. He was clotheslining people in midair. He was counting them.
Yeah,
He was getting it.
yeah, dude. It was like,
Andy.
man, thanks for coming in, Andy. Appreciate you, brother. And every time somebody brings this shit up, and when they come to the store, when we start shooting this shit, I'm like, dude, like this makes no damn sense. So you have this whole series, and your Falcon's trying to throw this shield. Again, Falcon's just a dude. He's not even a super soldier. He's just a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Lifts a truck, stops a truck, an armored truck from falling.
Mm.
All right, man. Like, can your bones handle that shit? Like, I don't know if that works like that, man. Like, even if you put jets
So
on it, like,
that new Wakanda suit, you know, all of a sudden gave him super strength.
right? And if they did throw away a line, I'd believe it. I'd be like, all right, cool, you know, whatever. But the suit looked like trash. Hey, politician people, things are tough, man. But you guys got to do better. See you later. Flies away. Thanks, Captain America. You really solved our problem. Holy shit. That's like, dude, you're broken on the side of the road. A dude, you know, you have a flat tire. Dude pulls up. Hey, man, you got a flat. Drives off. Thanks, man. Fucking great. Like,
Indeed.
Why?
And you know what you just mentioned, because you said U.S. agent should have rolled in there with a strike team. Captain America had a strike team in Winter Soldier. So, like, why is it they chose to defund U.S. agent while Cap had all the goodies and toys?
Yeah.
You know?
It didn't make no damn sense. I'd love to see more U.S. agent guy, because to me, he was the most relatable. He made the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then how are you going to tell me kids with no combat experience are throwing around Winter Soldier? I mean, yeah, they have super soldier serum, but Winter Soldier's been fighting people since fucking World War II, man.
Exactly.
And you mean to tell me that he can't, like, he should be making, like, short work of these guys to where it takes, like, 5 of them to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
But they nerf the shit out of him. They nerf Falcon. You know, they cook U.S. agent who's just trying to do the right thing. I'm glad he got the super soldier serum. That's the best thing to happen.
Yeah.
You know, who knows if they're going to do anything with them, but they're like, look how unhinged this guy. I'm like, that dude has PTSD. Fucking Falcon is a counselor for PTSD, and you mean to tell me he doesn't see that U.S. agent or Captain America has PTSD? You mean to tell me like they could have like bonded and like help him work through it? They're like, all right, brother, I'm with you. USA, let's go catch these terrorists. No, forget you, man. Like, I'm mad that you got Steve's shield. You know, even though the country asked you to do it, and you're a veteran and you're suffering from PTSD. It's like he felt like he was above him now because he went and fought Ultron or whatever they had Falcon do and shit. You know. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna make Falcon bootleg Captain America, and now he's the Captain America because you gotta have a black guy be Captain America. And it's like, you're giving him a white man sloppy seconds. Falcon was already dope.
Yep, exactly.
Have Falcon wear the red, white, and blue. I'm fucking Falcon. I'm the new leader of the Avengers. That means something.
Yep.
Oh,
he
God.
spent most of that TV show questioning himself when he should have been getting stuff done. And when they went to meet the guy from the Mantis, if y'all remember that 90s show, he was like the old black super soldier.
Oh man, he was from Mantis. Oh dude.
Yeah, that was him. Yep.
Yes.
That was the classic dude. Call me the Mantis, you know.
Oh man, I love that show, dude. That was so cool.
Yeah. You know. And I thought he was eventually going to come out there and fight with him or something. But like that scene when they got done talking to him in Baltimore, I think they were out there, and the cops showed up, and Bucky was like, you know, don't worry about this, Sam, I got this. And the cops came out, you know, so there's gonna be like, you know, police brutality on a black man in Baltimore, but they were like, Sergeant Barnes, we got a warrant for your arrest. I was like, what? Disney like literally put that in there. It's like, see, we didn't arrest the black man. I was like, it was so pointless.
Yeah, I mean, the Marvel Universe is not our universe, man. Like,
Yeah, it's somebody else's.
it has to be something, you know what I mean? Something that we need to strive for. When you're putting in little stupid shit like that, maybe a comment or something and then say like, this is how we come together to get over that.
Exactly.
But they can't do that. They have to drag somebody down. They had to drag Captain America, U.S. Agent down, John Walker. They had to drag John Walker down in order to prop up Falcon as Captain America. They couldn't make them as equals. They couldn't have them win on their own merit. That's how She-Hulk. They're dragging Hulk down because to elevate She-Hulk, they don't know how to write a decent character.
Correct.
Without dragging people down. So
That's
it doesn't.
That's the new Marvel formula. Basically, you just defined it right there.
Yeah.
And that's how these writers are because they have never had struggle. They have never had like anything to really test that they don't know. So it's all like feminine cat fighting bullshit. It's like they don't know how to write male characters because a lot of times dudes would just let shit go. Yeah, man, fine. That's or they'd fight and they become best friends. Like that's what happens. Like, but they want to try and do this whatever thing. They kind of give John Walker a little thing, but not much. And it's just like, dude, you get this fucking clown world, man.
Exactly. I mean, like, how you think they're going to treat Wolverine when he comes out? Is he going to just automatically be old and then they bring in X-23? Because, like, Logan embodied manhood.
They're going to fuck it up, and I don't know how. And it's such a simple formula. But it's like they don't know unless they're going to bring them in later. Maybe, like, this stuff starts changing, and then that's when they bring them in. Or something, but it's like, dude, and then also, man, I mean, Hugh Jackman became a pretty damn good Wolverine. Yep. So it's tough. It's tough shoes to fill. It's a shame that what's his name is Venom, because I think he'd be a bomb ass Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you've seen him in Bronson and with the one gangster movie, he can legit. You're scared of the guy, and that was like 90s. Well, people forget 90s Wolverine. Like, people forget that Wolverine could have that berserker rage and snap and gut somebody.
Yeah.
Even his own teammates. Everybody had to step the fuck back. Like, he almost did it to Kitty Pryde, but she phased when he was, like, going crazy. So she didn't, of course she didn't get it, but he would snap, dude. Like, he was scary and he was dangerous. And it was like having a crazy-ass pit bull on your team that sometimes it gets a hair up his ass and it can attack you too, man. But
yeah. And plus, too, look at his villains, man. Sabretooth would, like, ambush him on a whim out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He'd kidnap his friends or somebody he loved and do some elaborate shit and drag him out into the snowfields of Alaska or some shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he was very sadistic. So I'd say Wolverine's berserker rage was justified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the guy, and that's the thing too. Once they revealed his name and his past, I feel they killed the character.
Yeah, took away the mysticism, and
because there were so many cool side stories. Him with Captain America and Black Widow back in the day, before he had the claws, and even like I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. But even like the whole like beginning of his run to like issue 50 when Mark Silvestri was drawing him in between like 35 or whatever. They were dropping all this past stuff and
that was
being hunted by robots. And
that was back when you thought that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was back when they thought that Sabretooth might be his father.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were playing with that for a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really tried to plant that seed because he kept calling him son and things like that. There seemed to be this weird thing, and then they later said that was not the case. But I was like, oh,
the guy had memory implants.
I kind of thought it would have been cool.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted Sabretooth to be his dad.
Yeah, I remember
a father-son relationship.
I remember in issue 50 when he finally goes to like the thing, and they were like, where they filmed the memory implants, like it was like sets. of like memories that he had, but they were fake and they were filmed and implanted in his brain and stuff. You know, so they went to like this whole thing that like a lot of his shit wasn't real or who he was, and it was like, dude, like, and people would come from his past, and you know, or he had that whole little arc where he went to Japan and got married, and then they kill his wife in front of him. She gets poisoned and shit, and it's just like, dude, he's such a great character. And we're like, here's his origin. His name is James. Like, I'm like, fuck this, dude.
Yeah, wasn't that the name of his clone? And that's the thing. That's when you know stuff starts going downhill. Send in the clones. Spider-Man clone, Ben Reilly. Wolverine clone named Jimmy, the blonde-haired one. And then
I have no idea, man. I think I checked out.
I heard a little bit about it. I wouldn't pay him for it, but I heard a little bit about it, you know, with like, what was the name of that, the one guy, Robert Jefferson, he would do Comics Explained, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd catch up with some of that stuff through him, but it was like, man, thank gosh I didn't pay for this.
Yeah, that Clone Wars was rough, man. The Spider-Man Clone Wars, dude. I was like, where am I even at? Like, that's when I stopped. I stopped collecting, like, after that whole thing, because I was like, I don't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, I'm out, man. But this one has a lenticular cover. Okay, I gotta buy this one, man. What's gonna happen? I don't know, dude. Here's Spider Side, and here's Carnage, but then now there's 8 Carnages, and then here's like, you know, but now he's teaming with Venom, which is cool. But then it's like, but Mark Bagley's still drawing it, so it's still fresh, you know, like it still looks dope. But I don't know what's happening, dude. It's Jackal, but it's not Jackal. It's a clone of Jackal. And when Stacy comes back, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's too
I don't
much,
know, man.
Funny,
yeah, it was rough, man.
Funny arcade story about the Clone Wars is one guy that used to work in the arcade. He was real good with Spider-Man, and he taught me how to play with Spider-Man on Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah.
So I played so much, and I had obviously more time than him, that my Spider-Man ended up getting a little bit better than his. So the first time I ever beat him, and it was Spider-Man versus Spider-Man, of course. The minute I beat him, he got so mad. He's like, there's no way this is possible. Oh, now I figured it out. Just like Peter Parker had Ben Reilly, you're my clone. That's the only way you could have beaten me. I was like, come on, man. I couldn't
follow that stuff.
I never heard the end of it that whole day. Like, he went to work, and then he'd just walk by and be like, all right, I see you, Ben Reilly. I'd be like, damn. But yeah, the clone stuff's a little too much.
Yeah, I think it was for everybody. Too much for everybody, man.
Yeah, I think I was way checked out by then. But
let me take a quick bathroom break, and I have the ultimate question on the subject of that.
Uh-oh.
Alrighty. I'm curious now.
I shall return.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna simplify the design of the turtle robot. That way he still has a turtle silhouette.
Yeah. Okay, why am I not crude. What was this, something crude?
Yeah, Tentacrude.
Tentacrude. I was like trying to think of the pun. I was like, wait. Well, I was thinking of ink because octopus, like they shoot ink.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I was trying to do ink in the name, and I was like, well, it's not ink, it's oil.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have like meteors. What's gonna trigger? Like it'd be like a meteor shower, and then like these meteors like make shit happen. So like a meteor's gonna strike an oil tanker, and it causes oil to leak, and there's gonna be an octopus there, and then the energy from the meteor with the oil creates the kaijus, and that's what's gonna happen.
Nice. Oh, thank you, Andy.
Yeah, only other Spider-Man I do like was Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man 2099 was badass, dude. It was so cool. I even think he was pre-clone. Like, there was no clones. He was like the only other Spider-Man like that existed.
Yeah, that was pre that because I remember that when that came out, but I don't remember the clone stuff.
And I love the Edge
I
of
just
Time
didn't
game.
like the artist. It was Rick Leonardi, and I just never liked his style.
It was very rough. It was very rough, but he made that costume badass.
Well, the costume was badass, and I don't know if
Yeah.
he came up with it, but whoever did, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But that's the thing I like. He didn't do it justice with his posing of Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
Spider-Man's all about putting his body in the right contortions.
Yeah, it would have been sweet to see Mark Bagley draw that one.
Yeah, for sure.
The only Spider-Man I do like was Spider-Man 2099, and I love the Edge of Time game, but the Peter Parker. But Peter Parker was the only thing I followed in comics. Also, a bit of Spider-Girl. I think Mayday Parker. I heard that Spider-Girl was actually really good, but I don't think it's canon. I think it's some other Elseworld stuff or something like that. Also, art looking dope as always. Odin, can't wait for your book to launch. Your bet, I am backing day one. Awesome, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. And I know you didn't mean it the other night when you called me a bitch.
Oh man,
We had to fuck with you a little bit because Mo took his wrench away, and he's like, "Hey, why'd you do that?" He's like, "It was kind of one of those. Nobody calls Odin a bitch." It cracked me up. But no, Andy, always appreciated, man. And yeah, and I'm excited to get it in your hands too. Actually, I know that your Magnificent Bastard shirt is coming, so you should be getting that sometime soon, man.
I gotta get me one of those.
let's see.
Yeah, I have to be the go-between because, if there's multiples, I guess if there's just one, just drop ship it. But if there's multiples, because they're coming from Canada, send them here, and then I'll ship them out, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, that Spider-Man Edge of Time game. I remember that, where Spider-Man would do web attacks that was pretty similar to Kratos' God of War combos using web.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty unique.
Well, speaking of web, that was my Spider-Man artist was always McFarlane.
Yeah,
He was
Same.
the one who did I think they called it spaghetti webbing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did that crazy ass webbing where he made it like exploding like I don't want to say what I was gonna say. Let's just leave it at that.
It is a sticky
Yeah, it looks cool.
and a subject that's sticky.
Yes, end of subject. No more needs to be said. But I was also a fan of Eric Larson's.
Yeah. I remember he
different.
did that Deathlock crossover. It was Deathlock and Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, those
Dude.
covers. I can still picture that one where Spider-Man has the Deathlock.
The metal arm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
because like
fancy cast.
he was fighting like Dr. Doom, and he chased him into like a laundromat, I think, and Doom like blasted the whole laundromat and left Spider-Man for dead. And
Wow.
I think that's the same one. Then Deathlock picked him up by the end of the issue. And
Could be, because I don't remember anything about the cover now that I think about it. I remember the artwork.
Yeah.
Just remember Eric Larson's style being
Yeah.
very stylized. It was different.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a good Spider-Man artist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was close enough to McFarlane that it was a good transition when
Mhm.
Todd left.
Agreed.
They did a good crossover book with Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man too. That was pretty good. It was like it was a perfect bound. It's
Oh,
pretty
really?
neat. Yeah.
Nice.
Where you have them fighting, like you had Spider-Man, they switched places. So it's pretty cool. So like our Spider-Man was fighting 2099's Vulture.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think 2099 was fighting like somebody, I don't know if he was fighting like Carnage or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think they were doing better against each other's rivals, you know, because they fought different.
Oh, right. They were used to fighting the other one.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool, and I guess the whole thing was that Spider-Man, Miguel O'Hara had to save Peter Parker, because if he didn't save Peter Parker, something was gonna happen to the timeline, and like his future wouldn't exist. It was pretty neat. Edge of Time, I love how you could see Spider-Man's frames because he moves fast, but more importantly, the interactions with Miguel and Peter, dialogue was dope. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was really cool. Right before when they're jumping, they're going back in time, and not in the game, but in the comic, they're like, "Oh, by the way, great costume." They tell each other before they go back in time, or before they go back to their respective times and stuff. It was really cool. That was before Spider-Verse. That was before any of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the original Spider-Verse.
So, ultimate question.
Oh yeah. That ultimate question. What's up?
Rob, how long was your thing sitting here and I haven't added it to the stream?
Oh no, I just added it, but I didn't know whether you had space. Yeah, I just added it once. You were in the.
I was curious. I was actually going to ask, what are you working on, Rob? You know, like.
Oh yeah, still working on
nice.
Vera.
Oh,
trying
and
to
that
get her
extra
done.
black. That helped. I like that.
Yeah.
Give it some extra
Because her
definition.
suit's black and gold, and there's another assassin whose suit is blue and gold. So they have their variations, but let's just say their suits can adjust to the situation. I put it that way.
Nice.
Interesting.
You know, but yeah, that's all I'm doing. Nothing special. I didn't know whether you had enough space for all of the all the squares.
Well, we could always
yeah.
swap it out too. You know, I could.
You could
always come
usually
back
do
to it
10,
myself.
right?
Yeah, but this is a share. It's a share screen.
Oh, so
okay.
you only have so many.
Yeah.
So how do I set up to have one of the screens like you guys? Which I have no idea how.
So what I did for this one, the one that I have, so Odin just changed. He has 2 cameras, and he just changed his camera.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so I can't have 2 going at the same. Well, I
yeah.
can if it was my stream, but
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'll stick with staying in the background then. I'll learn that some other time.
But what I did with this one is I just opened up another browser. So I'm using Chrome for this one when I'm doing everything in Chrome. And then I opened up Firefox, and then just the when you click your invite, you have that link. You just put it in the browser. I made another account, and I just pretty much invited the cam bot as a person.
oh, that's how you did that.
Got it.
So, and that's why it's kind of
Forget
laggy,
you.
like it is right now. It's kind of laggy.
Yeah. You're like,
Okay.
like, oh, it's good information. Back
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But you have to mute with Firefox. You can mute the tab, like you can mute the browser, and you need to do that. Otherwise, it'll have a killer echo.
Okay.
So, or you
Good
could just
deal,
have
then.
2 cameras and just switch in between. Just go to settings and switch in between them too. That's easy.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was doing digital stuff, I just had the camera pointed and it's super adjusted for the bright screen of the iPad, and that's how I was doing the digital on here. But I'm sure there's other people use OBS and stuff, but I'm too lazy to figure it out. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, it is a headache. I definitely went through some headaches trying to figure out, the best option for what I was trying to do. I use a third-party program called Reflector 3, and I don't even know if it's available anymore, but it allows you to connect as long as you're in the same Wi-Fi network. It opens up a window, and then you screen share your iPad with it, and it pops up, puts in the code, you put in the code, coordinate, and boom, you have like a virtual iPad screen on your computer that can be attached to a stream.
Okay.
Yes.
But like I said, it was way harder putting it on OBS. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so ultimate question.
Ultimate question, yes.
Yes.
Now that we have seen both the X-Men and the Avengers go back in time to save the day, who has the better time travel story between Days of the Future Past, just that movie, and Avengers Endgame?
I'd say Future Past for me.
Oh man.
Michael Fassbender is Magneto.
Yeah, that's part of it, man. That guy was so awesome as Magneto. But I think just in general, they pulled it off better. I think maybe because they didn't have to go through so many like universes and characters and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the team, more or less, I mean, they went and found him, but it was like, I don't know, it was just different.
Yeah.
I just like the movie better. I guess that's probably what it is.
Oh yeah.
I that's tough, man. I like them. I like them both. I think in terms of like, it was cool. Like it's in general seeing the Days of the Future Past like world. I think I like the time heist better than the whole like we're gonna use Kitty Pryde's brain stuff.
Oh yeah, Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. Yeah.
To send
Oh, yeah, I
Wolverine
guess
back,
That's
you
kinda
know.
dumb.
And then it was
Yeah.
just like, okay, now it's just a movie in current time. Like, okay, like at least you in the other one, you kind of had you relived certain moments that you already been to. You know,
True.
I guess like I felt like they could have done more with the Days of the Future Past stuff. I feel
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the jumping back and forth, but
I wish they would have done more with Bishop because that was a great character.
yeah,
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
here he is. Now he's gone.
Yeah, it was like not even
It's
in the
all
movie.
Mystique. Mystique stuff can blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah,
what?
they really
Yeah.
went in hard with
Man.
Mystique way too
That's where they
much.
screwed up. Yeah.
Like,
X-Men
okay.
just made Mystique way too big of a character most of the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they really, I think they really did the Sentinels a disservice on both accounts because all that CGI money they spent on all those multi-morphing, power adapting
Yeah.
Sentinels. All you had to do was put in Nimrod, one Sentinel, one
Yes.
mission, one dream. That's it.
Mhm.
Because Sentinel, I mean, even on the damn the X-Men Fox cartoon, man, that dude scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he can always come back, regenerate, and come back through time to get you. Like, he was ridiculous.
Yeah, then it's like almost like a horror villain.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You know, when's he gonna come get us? He's popping up like Nemesis. Ah, oh shit! Watch out!
Exactly.
Their villains were like horror villains. Like the non-Magneto ones, like Mr. Sinister and Apocalypse. Those
Yeah.
were horror villains, man.
I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
think Days of Future Past was cooler, or do you think it would have been better to do Mojo World?
Oh,
I mean, just talk about like crazy out there stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, Days of Future Past was cool, but imagine if they did Mojo World instead.
yeah. Well, I mean, I felt like they didn't even do Shatterstar justice
Oh yeah,
when
no.
he was in Deadpool 2. He was literally cannon fodder. I was like, oh, Shatterstar.
Oh, that's funny. I never saw Deadpool 2. I'm like,
Oh,
I didn't know
man, I'm so
Shatterstar was
sorry.
in it.
My bad, Odin.
Yeah, he's
No,
like, I'm
it's all
better than
right.
you.
I mean, that makes me kind of want to see it actually, but except for that, you're like, oh, he's just cannon fodder.
Here's what I have to say. You have to see Deadpool 2. It has one of the greatest cameos. There are a lot of cameos, but it has one of the greatest cameos.
Well, is it the Cable one?
No, not just him, but there's one of the greatest cameos of
Like
epic.
an actor cameo?
No,
Or a
character.
cameo? Okay.
But I don't
Well,
want to.
that's intriguing. I will definitely.
I'm trying to remember.
You
now.
might have already heard about it, but for the
That's
sake of
possible.
not, huh?
That's possible.
Yeah. But for the sake of shock value, in case you haven't, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's
Gotcha.
because when
Well,
it
I
happened,
appreciate that.
I was like, this is epic.
I'm as cool as Deadpool 2 was. I felt like it wasn't as good as the first one,
Oh, heck no.
and I
Nowhere
think
near.
I felt like they wasted Cable.
Yeah.
I'd
I
rather
felt
have
like that was going to happen anyway, and that's partially why I didn't see it because I'm like,
I mean-
I was already starting to fall out of favor with Marvel. I was like,
I mean, I'd rather honestly at this point, I'd rather see a Cable movie than a Deadpool 3.
And then they
For sure.
promised Deadpool. I mean, they promised Cable too, so I guess they kind of had to deliver. Good choice for Cable.
Yeah, very
Josh
good.
Brolin.
I feel like there wasn't enough of them.
Thanos, why not?
Yeah. That was Brolin's year.
Yeah,
I was kind of a little bothered by that though. Like,
Mhm.
I think Josh Brolin's a great choice for Cable, but I was like, he's already a character. Don't do this. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's true.
like when they do that. I knew an actor. I can't remember his name right offhand. But like the moment I saw him, I was like, this guy would make a great Cable, and that was like years ago.
Mhm.
I
Remember
think
his
that
name now.
I think that guy who played Punisher in Warzone would have been a great Cable.
Thomas Jane. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
makes
in the second Punisher movie.
yeah.
Oh,
The Warzone.
well, guess who he was? He's been in the MCU. He's the fat one of the Warriors 3, Ray Stevenson.
Oh, what a
Mhm.
waste, dude.
I know.
Dude,
I
he's
know.
he's fucking huge, man. He totally would have been an awesome Cable.
Hell yeah.
He looks like him. I mean, dude, he's like he's like 6'5", 6'6". Like he's a giant of a dude. Put them big ass Liefeld shoulder pads at him, bro. Oh man, it would have been so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how things turned out. But you know, is where Deadpool 2 still with fans? I honestly think Deadpool 3 under Marvel Studios is going to be like probably one of the biggest disappointments to date, because in a way I feel like it's no longer in Ryan Reynolds' hands.
Yeah.
You know, he fought for that role for a long time.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Marvel has a history of treating characters like stepchildren if they didn't, you know, Marvel Studios at least, if they didn't start them up first. You know?
Well, they recasted Elektra.
Really?
Yeah, they recasted Elektra. It's not the same girl.
I didn't see anything wrong with that girl
I like
from the
her.
Deadpool series, right?
No,
Or,
no,
I'm sorry, Daredevil
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're bringing. From what
I
heard,
liked
they're bringing-
Elektra.
They're bringing Foggy back. They're bringing. I think got a cuter girl is what they got. You know, I guess, but it was like, dude, why? But everybody else is coming back, so it makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you never know if there's contract negotiations or whatever kind of horseshit.
True.
I liked Elektra in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I actually liked their casting for everybody except Foggy. I didn't like Foggy, but I guess you're not supposed to. He's kind of a dumbass the whole time anyway. So
Yeah.
I liked him because he was in. I liked him. He was in Mighty Ducks. So I was like, dude.
I don't remember Mighty. I mean, I remember watching it, but man, that was a long time.
Yeah, he was the big tall kid.
Oh, he was
like
one of the kids.
He was the enforcer. You know,
Yeah.
the Mighty Duck show. Or I should say the movie, the Mighty Ducks movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had that on when we were when we were deployed. They had a section where we had to be there overnight, so it's popping in movie after movie.
yeah. No, I really, really liked D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like they nerfed him in Hawkeye. I mean, they made him super strong, which was cool, but they had him. I understand. So, like, here's what's weird.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to do comic book accurate stuff, like all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they dress Kingpin in the white suit and Hawaiian shirt that I guess he was in the Hawkeye run, which makes him look retarded.
Yeah. Back to a
That's
quirky
the only
character.
reason not to do it is like if it just doesn't work on the screen.
Like you see him and he's throwing and he's pulling car doors off and he's throwing people around and stuff, and he's wearing this ridiculous suit, dude. And it's like the Kingpin in the Daredevil Netflix always dressed like, even when he wore the white jacket, like he always was dressed nice, like okay, he would wear that. But they have him wearing this like was he like on a vacation and just decided like, hey, like I gotta kill this bro.
I gotta go fight.
I gotta go fight some superheroes.
But yeah, you just can't picture Wilson Fisk from Daredevil like dressing anything but like sharp as hell,
Yeah.
Except when he was wearing a prison outfit or something.
Yeah. But they just made him look like a goof, and I'm like, man, like what the heck?
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
I never watched Hawkeye I never had Disney Plus, so I never watched anything on Disney Plus.
I canceled my Disney Plus. That was my way of sticking it to the man.
Stick it to him. Well, my way was to never get it.
Yeah, he said to never get it.
I never gave him a dime except for at the theater.
Nice.
Yeah, we kind of were on the fence because my wife and I, we like to watch a lot of the classic stuff and things like that.
That's why I thought about it, was for those reasons. Yeah.
You know, once they were like, we're gonna do more trans programming towards kids. I'm like, you guys are creepy, dude. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm paid up till January because you can't just cancel it. Like, if you already like paid for the year, you cancel it, you don't get money back. Like that's it. Like,
Right. So you
so
might as
we're
well
like,
use
okay.
it.
So my wife, you know, was like, all right, she just paid up front because I guess it's semi cheaper that way or something.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, I got it till January. So we're like, okay, well, I got
No,
it.
definitely enjoy it while you got it. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, there's
but
stuff
again-
on there I would like to watch, but
I mean, please, I'm sure it's not She-Hulk because the first episode was so bad. I refuse to acknowledge it on my stream.
I would never watch that. Yeah,
It was bad. Even
it
Anna
looked even
Dasko-
worse than I could imagine. You know,
Yeah.
that's pretty bad because I could imagine them like fucking something up, and it
Mhm.
was worse.
Yeah,
From what I've seen. Again, I haven't actually watched it, but like I could only
yeah.
imagine.
It's pretty much the epitome of how bad things are now in the MCU. And
Right.
I used to play as She-Hulk in Marvel's Capcom 3. I had a ball with her.
Yeah.
Music came on with her. I was like, here we go, super powered Zumba. You know.
It's a cool
but,
character in general, you know, like
yeah.
Yeah.
it's just sad.
But yeah, what was it? After Falcon and Winter Soldier, I watched like 3 episodes of Loki. I was done.
Oh, Loki was,
I was-
shit, dude.
Yeah, I was
Oh
done.
my god.
I was like, I can't. That's when I came up with the concept of I refuse to pay for suffering.
That's
I
You know.
refuse to watch anything that I know I'm not gonna like. Now, to be fair,
Hmm.
I almost feel like doing a watch party and ripping on She-Hulk live while watching it would be fucking
Ooh.
hilarious.
that
I
would
think
be
it would be
hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah.
But do I want to subject myself to that? I don't think so, and I don't think they deserve my view.
Well, that's the bigger thing too. Is like I can't do it and have them think that I'm enjoying it. You know, like I can't watch it even if I'm making fun of it to let them think that I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
We
But
would,
it would be funny to do that,
if
and
that
I would
would,
do it for that reason. only.
yeah, if that happened, I feel like we would just probably end up just shouting over each other about how terrible the show is.
Probably. But it'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'd
buddy
have to
of
do a
mine-
layover. I do a layover with us 3 sitting like in the theater chairs, like Mystery Science Theater 3000,
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
or in the front, and throw it up on something. Because I think you could just do watch parties on Twitch, like just straight up, like, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
we're watching," and you could just stream it like on
Yeah.
Twitch, like the whole thing. So
Really?
yeah,
Dude.
I think so.
Oh,
Somebody, I think 80s was mentioning something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you could do it on Twitch and not get in trouble for it. But, well, who knows with like Marvel stuff? They might be even crazier.
Yeah.
Well, the way they do it on Twitch is the live stream, you know, if anybody that's there watching it live, you know, there's no problem, no strikes, but just in the replay,
You can't
They-
replay it. Yeah.
yeah, they'll mute, you know, certain parts of the sound and all that, probably the visual too.
Yeah.
But I did have a buddy on Twitch. He did stream the entire Man of Steel movie, and it's still up. So
Oh, nice.
I mean, I guess like if any money or whatever would go towards like anything that was made, would
Right.
probably
You're like, well, I'm not doing it for
back
money.
to
so-
them. Be kicked back to
Mhm.
them if any ads or whatever. I'm sure they could put ads on it or something. Like,
oh yeah.
let's catch up with Andy here. He said my favorite artist. Let me try to remember her name. Gabriel Ortiz. Let's see how he found it right here. I loved his Spider-Man.
Gabrielle
Gabrielle
Delato.
Delano.
Pull some of that stuff up. One that looked really cool was Nonstop Spider-Man. Like I
Mhm.
seen like I guess it's like this thing looks like action. It looks like action-packed Spider-Man. It's like 3 issues. And I'm like, I don't even care what's happening, dude. I just want to see this art. Hey, EB, thanks for tuning in, man.
Thank you for your support, Andy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Gabriel Olato. Del
Delato.
Yeah.
Never heard of them. And I guess if it's Gabrielle, that could be a female, right?
Oh, Andy says, yeah, I also bought Nonstop Spider-Man for the cover. Does I think they do the inside too, right? It's not just a bait and switch. I can't stand that shit. That's what I can't stand about modern covers too. Is like it's not even like how it used to be. Like, oh, Spider-Man versus the Puma in the jungle trap, and then you'd be like, oh, Spider-Man like this. And, oh, I got to see what's happening with this story. They're like, just Spider-Man standing there and shit, looking all cucked out. I gotta buy this book.
Covers have no excitement to them, but then the interiors have no excitement to them either.
Yeah. And I used to have a big problem with that because if I would literally see the cover, I'd be sold on the cover, especially with the art. And then I look in the interiors to make sure that it was consistent, or at least to some degree, good quality. And when it wasn't, I wouldn't buy it. I didn't even care if it was part of a series. It's like, nope, I need that consistency.
You better do a good job.
You know,
it's like your Marvel, like,
you
think you'd get the best, but no, those days are gone. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull that guy up. Let's see if I can find him. If I can share something. How do you spell that? If you guys could just...
Okay, GABRIELLE.
Okay. Okay.
You got the Gabrielle part?
Yeah, close
That's
enough.
the easy part. Okay, DEL apostrophe.
Huh?
Auto.
Came up. Okay, came up here. Oh, dude. Let's see. Images.
So is James doing okay? I know he was mad that I helped contribute to depopulating gingers with that woke red riding hood that I did.
I think he'll get over it. You just got to draw a ginger character somewhere down the line. He'll be happy.
And you know what? I've never made one, so I am up to the challenge.
Well, there you go, man.
You know,
Let's make a really pasty person and put red hair on him. That's all.
That's
all it is. It's easy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, shucks. What's his name? Cletus Cassidy. That dude was unhinged.
I don't know who that is.
Carnage.
Oh,
Spider-Man, Venom, and then Carnage. Cletus Cassidy. He was red hair.
Oh,
and, yeah, he was off the chain.
Yes.
Let's see this one.
And that's not stereotyping. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
They all are.
Yeah, this would sell comics.
Wow.
Oh, damn, that's badass.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Dang. Yeah, and see that is what used to deviate me from consistent art style. I would be like, this looks amazing. I want to draw like this. That looks amazing.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, you're gonna go through transformations. I know I have. You know, it like starts this way and then it moves to this, but like, yeah, there's so many different styles, and then you're like, well, I want to draw like them, and eventually you just go, I just want to draw like myself. You know, I can't think about drawing like someone else. Like, I could look at some amazing art and go, man, I wish I was that good, but I'm not gonna try to like go their direction. You know.
Yeah.
So I kind of know what I like and what I do, and it'll still evolve over time, like it always does. But
exactly. Yeah, the hardest thing I've had to learn how to do recently is this rendering, line by line, creating shade value.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm definitely not used to that level of stamina.
Well, I was looking at your drawing and like, man, your render is really good.
Thank you.
And I think sometimes the tendency is to just continue. I mean, I do it too. Like, we're just continue rendering, and then you're like, okay, we're putting hatching here, put hatching here, put hatching, and then you're like losing the what do you call it? The negative space, you know, because you're like, oh,
True.
okay, now I'm basically shaded the whole thing where, you know, there's got to be a spot that like light's hitting it that is pretty unrendered, you know.
Exactly.
So sometimes I have to learn that, and I mean, even like that drawing I showed you guys earlier, it's like, yeah, I couldn't stop. I was like, and now I want to go in with a whiteout and like take some of it away so that I have some really like good negative space. I'm like, yeah, now that I already went to town on it, now I wish I hadn't. You go back with the, and that's kind of the annoying thing about traditionals. You have to actually use whiteout if you want to change something.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I used to have a whiteout pen, which
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
too bad, but
These ones work pretty good.
yeah, sometimes it would leak. It's like,
Posca.
crap.
The problem is like if you don't do it right, it'll just be gray,
Mhm.
and it'll also just like muddy up your nib. But yeah, like the more I've used it, the more I learned like how to use it. I use
Yeah.
that, and then like for a lot of stuff, I use just these like gel pens like that.
Yeah, those gel pens are pretty badass.
These work great just for like actual
Oh.
line work.
Yeah,
So if I was showing you this one, I don't know if you pull it up again.
yeah, let's pop that up.
Wow.
So like all of that was just leaving space. I wasn't using any white, but this, like this here, or let's see, change my camera angle. Some of the lines over the shadowing was just this gel pen. You know, works pretty good.
Okay. Wow.
And I used to think that was cheating. I was like, oh, you know, you don't do that. The pros would never do that. And then I watched Jim Lee draw one time, and he was just like basically drawing in white out most of the time. Actually, he was using it artistically again, like not just for cleaning up mistakes, but actually like to have effects. But what he did, he was drawing what's the girl from Teen Titans who has the powers? Raven.
Mm-hmm.
And he drew this mystical symbol on his hand in whiteout. And then he like smushed it down on the paper. He had like drawn some black around there. And then he smushed it. I don't know why he used his hand, but maybe it transfers better. But Jim Lee, watching him draw like inking his own stuff, because I always just thought of him as like Scott Williams inking him and stuff. And then watching him do his own, I was like, man, this guy's like a little mad genius. You know, like it was so free. He didn't care. You know, he's like, as long as it looks cool. It was way sketchier than I expected.
Yeah.
Because again, like when Scott Williams would ink him, it was like super clean and polished. And then when Jim Lee inks himself, it's just like free for all craziness. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Jim Lee stuff is like, it's it's iconic. You know, I read through his book, Icons, and I read through Mark Silvestri's book, The Art of Mark Silvestri, and also The Art of Todd McFarlane. When I was on my way back to America. And I was like, hey, this is where I'm trying to get to, at least in presentation wise. I understand, you know, I'll get my own style, but I need the fundamentals, you know, down packed.
Which one did you like best out of those?
Between the three, I think Jim Lee is still overall, for everything that he draws, is still one of my top favorites. And I love the line renders, you know, that start, you know, real thick and then they fade, and that creates the shading. His correlation between drawing female and male aren't too extreme. Because I know like David Finch, which I like his style, but I feel like David Finch kind of does men so realistic. You can see like the physical frame. It resembles probably like, you know, the physique of like a man from like the 60s boxing era. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but you know, creating that variation. But they're still fairly new to me. I've known Jim Lee most of my life, you know, as far as seeing his art. But David Finch is fairly new to me. Todd McFarlane, I love how he draws capes. Undeniable. You know, how he does the masks, you know, for like Spawn, the trademark Spider-Man eyes. For some of the human characters, like the two detectives in the Spawn series, it's
Yeah.
a little different from the realistic or how
Yeah, it's cartoony.
Yeah.
But the thing about Todd McFarlane, though, that
Mhm.
I appreciate most about him is for the storytelling reasons.
Oh yeah.
I think he's underrated as far as making every page exciting, no matter even if it's boring stuff going on.
Correct.
I think Todd McFarlane was one of the best at like making. So like his actual characters and sometimes his
faces.
His faces looked a little
His
weird.
faces were kind of weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they were true and unique to him, though. So you kind of knew a Todd McFarlane face. So at least there's that. But it was they were kind of weird. But sometimes, like his cartoony ones, like you were talking about the detectives and like the news anchors and stuff, and like he would have very stylized, cartoony kind of faces, and those were pretty cool. But at the end of it, like what I appreciated most was like the action or the excitement. Maybe not even the action, just the excitement of everything never stopped.
Yeah.
Every page was exciting, no matter what. So.
I agree. Even with Gunslinger Spawn right now, I think I've read up to like the third or fourth issue.
Yeah.
And only thing I'm mad about is that it ends. It's like, damn it, I gotta go to the next one.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And
that's
him paired with Brett Booth. I love Brett Booth's stuff.
Yeah, Brett Booth's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Well, so he would be like kind of like the antithesis of that, where all his characters look cool. But I think sometimes, he definitely has a good action, but I think he's not as good at the storytelling as Todd is.
Oh yeah, no question about it. I mean, even Jim Lee, to a degree, not to take anything away from him, but outside of his Wildcats, that were his own. I can't really think of ones that have captivated me over the years. I didn't even know that was Brent Booth that was doing Wildstorm back in the day, and I had those, or Stormwatch.
Yeah.
And seeing his
I think Jim Lee's pinnacle was before Wildcats. I think that X-Men #1.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of era of Jim Lee, that first 10 issues of the new X-Men's that he came out with. I think his pacing, part of it was, I think the writing, was better. When he did Wildcats, it was with Brandon Troy. Whatever.
Okay.
His Hush was very good. Batman Hush.
Yes.
That was very
agreed.
Good.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's Jim Lee to the max, dude. It's very good. And
the one I liked was Deathblow, though.
You said Deathblow?
Deathblow. That was totally different than anything else. It was kind of like Frank Miller, but like Jim Lee meets Frank Miller. It was crazy. And he didn't use any like line hatching for his shading. It was pretty interesting. And a lot of negative space like Frank Miller does. Yeah, that was crazy. And then I think people started giving him a hard time because they're like, oh, you're trying to be like Frank Miller. And then I think he just went, oh, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah, I think he cowered to that. I was like, but I liked it.
Yeah, you got to embrace, if you decide you want to change something, you got to embrace it to a degree, or repackage it and make it more marketable if you can. But, don't cave into the mob.
Right. Well, and I never thought he would, but it was also like a strange time with Image, and it was right before that, or things were starting to unravel, So I think that also had something to do with it.
Yeah. I think he was one of the first ones to leave Image, right?
Yeah. Well, he didn't really leave. I think he just started working for DC, doing stuff for DC and Marvel again. And everybody else was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
Let's get to this chat real quick. Andy says his panels are full of art and the jagged lines of the capes I love. I want to get into that Gunslinger Spawn because his design looks awesome. Is it a long series?
Agreed. Yep.
Do we know how long the series is?
There goes the question there, Rob. How long is the series?
I think it's up to 13 episodes by now, because it was supposed to stop at 10. Let me look and double check, because I haven't finished it entirely. I'm like slow coasting it, like trying
Rob Liefeld tells all the whole story on his podcast about Image and all that stuff and how it like collapsed.
Oh,
He was the first one to leave.
Who?
Well, and it's that's from Rob's perspective, of course.
Yeah, because he started. He was doing Extreme Press or whatever.
Yeah, Extreme Studios.
Yeah, Extreme Studios is what he was leaving. So, yeah, there's a whole story he tells when Image wanted them to pay. He had to pay Image for something to get some kind of release for some other stuff, and pretty much they give Jim Lee like, all right, you're gonna have this meeting. You have creative control of whatever Image. You're gonna have this meeting with Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld owes us X amount of dollars because of some kind of back pay or something. And so they go in the meeting, and I guess this was like right before Jim was gonna like leave.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Hey, this is how much you owe us. You owe us like $3,000 for publishing. Will you pay the $3,000 for the publishing their books? We won't worry about any other stuff." And Rob's like, "Sure, man. Okay, cool." They shook on it. Rob wrote him a check, and then, and then after that, then because I guess there were rumors that he was going to sell his stuff to DC and jump to DC at that time.
Yeah.
So there's Rob Liefeld gets a lot of that stuff, and even it's from his perspective. It's cool hearing him talk about just like, but he always brings receipts, and that's the thing. Like he always brings receipts. He's like, I did this interview in this magazine here, then Todd Liefeld or Todd McFarlane responded to this over here and this later thing, and then I did this at this date because of this. So Rob Liefeld brings the receipts, man. Like it's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, there's 11 issues of Gunslinger Spawn. Issue number 12 drops September 21st this year. So,
and it's just ongoing, basically.
I don't know how long it's gonna be going for. I thought it was gonna be a short story because the character, of course, is on his last legs, and you know,
they all end eventually, right? Yeah.
There ain't no grave that can hold me down storyline, you know. But yeah, I like Rob Liefeld with some of his stuff. I don't think I've really gotten too much into the controversial stuff he's said lately. Like I know EVS has been putting it out on how DC is changing and whether Jim Lee might be leaving and going back to X-Men or something.
Yeah, the thing is like it's almost like he's realizing what we've been saying for the past, because he's always been like, because he's like always been in Hollywood, like he's been a Hollywood guy and stuff. So he always been focused on positive stuff. Even in his podcasts, you can tell how much like the guy loves comics. Like there's no way you hear somebody talk about comic. I'd give Marvel to Rob. I'd give DC to Rob. If I had to pick one or the, I'd be like Rob Liefeld knows, like he knows comics. He loves comics. He loves everything about this. He's the guy that should be in charge because he knows so much and loves the business and he loves comic books. Like it is no shadow of the doubt. He loves comics. Exactly. So everything that he would talk about is always the positive stuff. Is always like, unless it came to like something with Image or something or something that went bad, he would like, hey, this is what happened.
Well, I think Rob would be better in the position because he actually wouldn't cave. I think Jim Lee kind of caved a bit.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty apparent based on like some of the stories that DC has picked up. Their praise of the comic book industry doing well by using, manga numbers. That doesn't help.
Yeah, it's kind of like, but it's almost like Rob is coming out and finally saying like, this is ridiculous. Pretty much. Finally, it's like, oh yeah, we've been saying that for years, man.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I would be pissed if I worked for DC or Marvel for like a decade plus, if not longer, and they're in the state that they're at now. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Somebody get DC a doctor. Get Marvel a doctor. Not call 911 now. They're having cardiac arrest out here. Oh my gosh. But that's how I would feel, honestly. So
well, and they shouldn't be surprised, the guys who left
yeah,
start their own company.
That's what's crazy
Exactly.
too now is like, and I wonder if that contributes to something. I wonder if because of that whole image thing, if Marvel and DC have been too afraid to have superstar artists anymore,
yeah.
because maybe they just leave. They just pack their stuff up and leave and do their own stuff. So maybe they're trying to keep stuff down, but like hiring like foreign artists that they.
Well,
can
at this
have
point,
at
yeah,
the time.
because everybody is doing their own stuff.
I don't, I don't know, but maybe they're so scared of stuff. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And that's the thing.
They're just cheap.
Especially with Marvel in particular. They've had ample times on a corporate level to like be rational. I mean, it's the same company where when they had new leadership, they were like, who is this guy that's making all this money, but he's getting paid not to do anything? Oh, well, sir, that's Stan Lee. He helped build, the Marvel brand to what it is. Well, he's not doing nothing, so let's let him go. What?
One of my favorite stories is that, and Rob tells it too. Rob Liefeld tells it too. Was when they do the crossover when he was doing Captain America and Jim Lee was doing Iron Man, and when he has to, Marvel was going to claim bankruptcy, and Rob heard somebody told him ahead of time, and so he sends Dan Fraga with like the pages on a zip drive on a zip disk. And to be like, I got the pages here. He said he flies from California to New York. He sends Dan Fraga, and Dan Fraga has the book, like has all the pages scanned in a zip disk, and was like, "You get the pages when we get our money." And then literally, he kind of like, and they had to cut him a check. He had to go deposit the check, make sure the check cleared, and he went back to Marvel and gave him the disc. So Rob Liefeld selling Dan Fraga like fucking hoodlum collecting money shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you better got my money. You ain't getting shit.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that, there in a way there was a bit of organized criminal activity of how they would treat some artists.
Well, and this is nothing new. I mean, that's been going on.
Yeah, and like I said, it's new to me to a degree. But
because if you hear some of the old stories, I mean, these guys were creating characters, doing all kinds of stuff, and getting absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a different industry then too. Now these things have to be revisited now that it's changed so much that now it's a multi-billion-dollar making movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, dude, you gotta give this guy some kind of credit. Finally the whole Bill Finger thing came out. Finally, like Steve Ditko is a co-creator of Spider-Man, and when you see Spider-Man, everybody's thinking Stan Lee. When Steve Ditko designs the costume, designs Peter Parker, designs Dr. Octopus, designs like.
Well, and also knowing how they do the Marvel method, it's like the artist does fucking everything.
Yeah.
Stanley goes, here's a story. Why don't we start here and end here, and you do everything after that? And it's like, okay, I'm on it, Stan. So it's kind of like more of a creator, and then the artist became the storyteller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool, and that's why the Marvel method worked, is because writers knew how to do it, or I mean, artists knew how to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why. That's what one of my arguments is. You guys are like, writers. I'm like, listen, why am I going to write a script when I could draw the panels out and see them?
Yeah,
I get it, man.
Exactly.
I'm never going to tell anybody how I write my books. So.
Well, I was listening to Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane has an idea. And this is old, but he was like talking about like when he was doing Spawn. He's like, I draw 5 pages that I think are cool. And then I figure out how those 5 pages, what order they're going to go in, and how it's going to tell the story. And then I fill in the rest.
Yeah.
And that's how he was doing Spawn.
Wow. That's pretty
like,
epic.
Cool, man.
That's pretty freaking epic. You know, and
There's like 5 or 7 pages, but he's like, I'm gonna draw I'm gonna draw some cool shit, and I'm gonna fill in the blanks. Story, guys. All right.
Well, you know,
yeah,
I'm
Can't
gonna
argue
tell you
with
right
them.
now that's pretty
Yeah.
much what I did.
you know,
I would go, here's a cool few pages, and then go, now what's gonna happen? Yeah, it's
exactly.
basically the same thing.
But it's almost like when you're drawing and you're doing something like this, it's almost like you're directing an action movie, like you're directing a fight scene. And then
Yeah,
you're like, this guy goes here, then he drops here, then you know, it'll be cool, man. Maybe he's gonna flip here, and maybe he runs into a barrel, then he has to like dive over the barrel. Oh, cool, man. We'll add a barrel right here, and we'll do that. Okay, what should be
Well, I think
next?
if you've
Oh,
got
what
like
else?
the general overarching idea,
Yeah,
and then you go, now we're just gonna spill it out on a page, and however many pages it takes, and how we're gonna do that.
yeah,
It's all up in the air, but I know where I'm going.
exactly. Yeah,
So
I know
that's-
we're doing here, we're
That's
jumping
basically
here, jumping that, and then yeah.
that's basically how I did it. And, you know, anyone listening, you can know my secret now.
nice. So that must mean I'm overthinking it.
I call it the Odin method. No, I don't know.
The Odin way.
It may not work for everybody.
I think part of it too is getting it down in physical, some kind of visual form. So then you can kind of like, at least I'm doing it, and we'll wing it later.
Well,
But at least it's getting done in some kind of physical fashion. I think.
writing itself
Yep.
after a while, you know, like you're like you were saying, like once things are moving, that's when everything starts coming to life, and then you start seeing it. And you're like,
Mhm.
yes, I see it all now, you know. So yeah,
Yep.
you just have to like have an overarching theme, have a starting point, and then boom, go from there. That's what worked for me. Well, we'll see. It's what I've been doing anyway.
As long as you finish, we're all right. You know?
Yeah.
As long as you
Well,
get
as
it
long as
done,
I finish and people like it, we'll be all right.
but still, as long as you finish, you're already ahead of the game because half these people don't finish shit.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Exactly. I've been utilizing this book as like a reference,
Mhm.
and it's been pretty
Oh, yeah.
good. But you know, at the same time, I'm trying not to overthink it.
Well, I will say this one here, man. If you don't have it,
Yep, I got that one. I grew up with that one, in fact.
yeah,
I still got my original copy. I read it so much
never
the cover
stops
came off.
being relevant. Oh yeah,
Nice.
Then I
it
found
never
it.
stops being relevant though.
Never.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, my
That is
copy was
true.
right here. I'm sad. It's not here anymore. I had it right here next to me. Uh-oh. I still have Frazetta though. Frazetta's here.
Oh yeah.
If I ever want to feel if I want to feel depressed about my artwork, I'll just look at Frazetta and be like, why am I even doing this shit?
Which one did you? Well, I have this one, but I've always got Frazetta nearby.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. His poses are the best.
Oh
man.
wow,
Those are so good. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen that one.
one of my favorites.
Oh,
But what's cool is this one here. Not if I can actually do this without screwing anything.
wow.
Oh yeah.
So I actually prefer this black and white one over this painting, which I
Mhm.
love this painting. It's one of my favorites. But I saw this guy here, and I'm like, it is hard. You guys can't see the detail even.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Extreme dark to light
Yeah.
values.
Like you said, if you want to feel bad about your artwork, you know,
Right,
keep
you're like,
Frazetta nearby.
Over here.
Oh man.
But I keep bugging the 80s about this one. Like, this is a great book. 365 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. And Barry Windsor Smith's storytelling is
So good.
so good. Everything was awesome. Like, it always has like these keys, you know, it's like a little, like there's those little things that like connect the story. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like clues.
It's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he jumps back and forth through timelines and things like that, but he does it so masterfully.
Ah.
Yeah. And the story is, I mean, it's depressing as hell, but it's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Barry Windsor Smith just killing it on this.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
His
Well,
weapon
and there was
access
one scene, I wonder if I could, I think it was towards the end. Because he did something that I thought was genius. Oh, here.
I'm gonna make that big.
Yeah, I think that big.
Wow. Right on the side of the steps.
Yeah, so he drew these steps extremely, like the kid is so tiny. on
Yeah.
these steps. And it's not done without reason, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was like to show that how disconnected he felt as a kid from the, because this is all like at the end, spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
But before that, he had oh, there it is. I thought there was another one with him on the steps. Yeah. Yeah. I think I lost it. But I mean, yeah, look at this stuff. Like when he does the open panels too, he knows exactly when.
Wow.
It really does them awesome. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The master, and this was kind of his opus of sorts.
Yeah, look at that gradient he's doing on those faces. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, and then it might be hard to see, but what he does on this, her hair and her body, how it just kind of like fades into the background there.
Oh, dude.
Damn.
It's hard to see the detail, but yeah. He's just killing it. Such an amazing, and then the entire thing just full of this amazing artwork and a great story. Intense stuff. It's sad though.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, well,
but
it's
it's
sad.
interesting.
It's sad. I've been reading Mouse.
What's the name of that book?
You're reading Mouse. It's called Monsters.
Monsters.
The one I was showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry Windsor Smith, Monsters. It was going to be a Hulk origin story originally. Like, if I remember right, don't quote me on this, but I think I heard this, that he was coming up with, like, Marvel commissioned him to do a Hulk origin story, and it was, like, too dark and stuff. And he's like, well, I'm doing it. You know, so he made his own. I'm making my own. Like I said, 365 pages. I paid, I don't know, $40-$50 to have that shipped to you. So.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's like $40.
But once I started reading, I couldn't stop. I was like, I'm getting through this whole thing. I can't stop. This is too good.
I'm saving that right now. I got 3 volumes of Bloodshot with by Britt Booth.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His artwork. It's been pretty fun. You know, I'm on like the second book. Once I get to the third one, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I love the style. It's just so addictive.
Yeah, Brett Booth is, well, again, especially where you're talking about all the line rendering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was really good at that.
Yeah. I'm like, man, it's amazing. There was a course I took. Well, a course I purchased. I don't think I've taken it yet. On Gumroad from Clayton Barton.
Oh yeah,
howtodrawcomics.net.
Yeah.
And it does one on. It's about drawing creatures. So I'm excited to kind of check that one out. I'm almost done with the rendering one.
Yeah, creatures are the best. That's my favorite thing to draw. So that book, or the first story in my book, Unconditional Shove, the first story, Monsters Exist. Lots of different creatures. It was fun.
Wow. Things that go bump in the night.
Yes.
Y'all remember Kung Fu Theater?
Kung Fu. It sounds really familiar. What was that?
Back in the 90s on Saturdays after all the cartoons would be over. Well, maybe it was a local thing in the DMV area. They would, at, what was it, 11 or 12 noon, they would just have a Kung Fu movie. It could be anything, you know, Return to 36 Chambers or any of those. And then after that, they would have Nightmare Theater. So they would just
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like my type of movies.
Yeah. So it'd be like Graveyard Shift or Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
And even though my mom told me not to be watching that stuff, I watched it. And
Can't
I
help yourself.
Yeah, scared the wits out of myself for a whole week. And then I was like, okay, I'm not scared anymore. This week on Nightmare Theater, though.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. More mom says, like, don't watch this stuff, the more you're like, okay, now I'm going to watch it.
Oh, I gotta see it.
Oh, I got to see it.
Yep, testing the waters.
Oh, man. I something about that. And that's why and like a lot of those ones you're talking about, like the Stephen King, the John Carpenter movies of the 80s, Wes Craven, I'm like, horror movies were fun, even if they were scary, you know, and like some of those were pretty scary, but they weren't like, they didn't lose that element of like fun or like really engaging and pulling you in like as part of the action. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I want to see from horror is that it's I don't know, like Stephen King's always felt fun in that way for the most part. But there's a couple that were kind of really dark and not fun at all. But
Kind of what made you think. It would make you think too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
sometimes like now they're just like jump scare or something gross.
yeah, well, it was yeah, and the characters were really well written. That's a whole other thing. I think it like felt like you could picture that actual person.
Or like, I
now
know a guy like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy's gonna die.
Or I know a guy like that. He's gonna kill me. Yeah, the Stephen King had a lot of those, like the old crazy guys and stuff like that. Like the guy from Pet Sematary. Like,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes dead is better. Yeah, that guy. But you're like, yeah, I've met old guys like that. I used to, you know, go visit like relatives and stuff that lived out on farms, and you're like, hey, there he is. There's that guy from the Stephen King movie. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then when you go back to school after you've seen the horror stuff, you start looking around. Your imagination starts messing with you.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, could it be? What's there out there in the woods?
Oh, yeah. Always. But, you know, I always said this, like, it's what has sparked imagination in me. Because I was almost like chasing the dragon, you know, like chasing that that high or whatever that came from the first time I saw something that really like scared me or hit me in that intense way of like, what else is out there? Like, what more, you know, there could be crazy stuff going on anywhere. You never know.
Yeah. Agreed. There's a YouTube channel that I keep up with that I kind of draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
In the world of weirdness, and people just send this guy videos, or he'll search other YouTube channels for videos of the paranormal, and he'll say, what do you guys think? You know, he'll never say, you know, oh, it's this, it's Bigfoot and all that.
Right.
But he'll just ask, hey, what do you think? You know, creatures chasing people from the woods into their house and seeing glowing red eyes, ghosts in abandoned buildings.
Well, it sounds like similar to so as a friend of 80s and myself, like he used to come out, be in the chat a lot, but it's called Tattooed Biker.
Okay.
And he does all he does is narrate, but he gets these stories sent into him, or he goes and finds them of, you know, experiences people had, you know, crazy stuff, and then he'll read the story, and they're usually pretty well written, which is why I always think they're fake, because I'm like, oh, you know, everybody can write really good apparently. No. But he'll just read them. He doesn't like do anything like, oh, I believe this or I don't believe this, you know? But he's got a good narrating voice, and it's just different subjects. It's always fun. So I usually listen to those while I'm at work, just because he was a supporter of the show with 80s Maids, and then he's always been a huge supporter of Unconditional Shove and my artwork, so he's always like tweeting it out and sharing it out. So I'm like, so I check out what he's doing, but it's fun to listen to those stories and just kind of like let your mind, your imagination go. You're like,
yeah,
you're like, I'm never going in the woods again. Of course I will, but
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing, man. Escapism is so important now more than ever.
Again, it inspires another generation of imaginative people. You know,
Hopefully.
Yeah,
like I don't want that ever to go away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
hopefully.
when I went to, what was it? Awesome Con, the first one, and Larry Hama was there when he explained, the significance of storytelling from like cave drawings. That broadened my perspective so much as to how important it is to storytell and have good stories to tell as well. And I just didn't know that would be so important in this day and age now, where people that have the most resources in these big companies between DC and Marvel, they just lost sight of that so badly.
Well, isn't it weird that this generation with the most access to information ever seems the most deprived of imagination,
Yeah. It's crazy.
Or even like, I don't know, maybe it's empathy too.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just, I don't know, because then I feel like now they all have to see themselves. Oh, I want this person to represent me. It's like, no, you used to like the character because you like the character.
Exactly.
It didn't matter what they looked like, but now they have to be physical. They have to have autism. They have to have one leg, just like me, for me to relate to that character. I see myself. I'm seen. It's like, no, you're supposed to just like the characters and relate to just the things that they do, or you like that character because of that personality, not because they were a weird, they're a weirdo like you,
Yeah.
Well, again, is how many of the people missing legs are actually like, I need superheroes that look like me. It's like just some freaking idiots who are like telling them they need that,
Yeah.
You're underrepresented, and they're like, oh, I guess I am. You're right.
When it comes to
they're like, oh, I can't like just enjoy a comic of people with legs just because I only have one.
Exactly, appreciate things as they are. Otherwise, you can always make your own. It's not hard.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, just make your own.
But with the people wanting to have that opportunity to chase their dream, there is a really great story about that. And it involved a guy named Zach Gowen. And he always wanted to become a wrestler. I think he had one leg amputated or something.
Yeah.
So he learned to wrestle with one leg. That's how he wrestled. So he got his big break in WWE. His big break in WWE to get a chance to wrestle against Brock Lesnar. Man, that was a bad day for him. That was a bad day for him. I remember I was at a bar and we were asking the bartender to change it to SmackDown. People were like, "Oh, you talking about wrestling? Wrestling's fake." It was the perfect day for it because Brock Lesnar was fighting Zach Gowen, and he bloodied him up and down that ring. It was brutal, and people were just in shock sitting around. And me and my buddy were joking. We were like, "Wrestling's fake, huh? How about this?" So yeah, for those that want to see characters like themselves or imbue risk, to do something that they feel like they want to be the first of or something. Just be careful what you wish for. Literally.
And the moral of this story is,
be
careful what you wish for. You might have to fight Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. F5.
He was. I listened to a few interviews of him about that and stuff like that. I guess he's dealing with a lot of stuff at that time too, and he feels like he didn't treat that opportunity with the best. The best. He didn't take advantage of it like he could have. He was kind of like bitter and kind of upset and kind of while he was there instead of just enjoying it and stuff.
Yeah.
I met him. He's a nice dude.
Who, Brock or Zach?
Zach.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I imagine so. You know, still he achieved a childhood dream that you know some people still wish they had that opportunity.
But I guess he was dealing with a substance abuse at that time too.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
or it came from that or something. So, yeah.
I mean, he seemed pretty good in the ring. He did
Oh,
better
he's
than I
great.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was good.
I was like, well, shit. You know. And that's something about having a will and determination to get something done. Really, technically, nothing can stop you but yourself. You know, in a way.
And maybe that's the thing to the ease of access of everything now is that you have that ease. You could access anything. It's like I want to see myself. It's like, well, no, go do it. You go do it.
Yep.
You want to see it, go do it. You know, you want to live vicariously through seeing somebody else do it. It's like, no, you should go do it if you want to see it. You go do it.
Exactly. John Favreau, he actually said that during one of the Marvel red carpets. That's pretty much what he said in a nutshell. He said, you know, after, you know, catapulting the MCU with Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, you used to have to wait to get approval to make stuff. Now you don't have to wait and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even you know, especially with stuff like YouTube and you know these guys, especially like with the there's a lot of like choreographers and stuntmen that are on YouTube with all their reels and doing stuff all the time, and then you know there's Guy De Silva was doing Black Panther, was doing all kinds of people in the Marvel movies and all types of stuff on YouTube, and then you know was doing parkour and all types of stuff, and now that guy's all over the dang place. You know, you might not know it's him because he's dressed up as Black Panther or somebody else, but you know he's out there doing it, and you want to see cool stunt stuff. It's honestly a lot of the coolest stunt and action isn't in the theater anymore. Now it's on YouTube.
Exactly.
Or you know Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
You know, we don't play around.
Yeah, if you ever look up, was it Wushu, like on Instagram? Man, they train those kids to do Wushu at such a young age. They're doing like backflips and stuff before they even barely learn how to read and write. You know, it's absolutely amazing. But you know, that's how they get that raw talent at a young age.
This is only going to be a layout, and I just keep working on it. Like, oh, I got to finish it, man.
Well, yeah. What else are you going to do?
Nice.
So I forgot to put the little girl was supposed to be in here somewhere. Now I got to fit her someplace.
Looks good.
Good thing she's little.
Right up its neck and monster.
Let's go. I'll pull that up so we can take a better look at that.
Okay.
Wow. So this is a oil tentacle monster is what he's fighting here.
Oh yeah,
my big turtle robot.
Oh.
And then he has his buddy's a little girl that pilots his chest. Not pilots, but will help him. You know, but she flies around with a jetpack.
Okay.
So she was gonna be in the foreground, and I forgot. So I'm like, well, oh no, where am I gonna put her? And I've been drawing her inside the cockpit all the time, so I don't want her inside. I wanted her flying around, so now I'm like, where am I gonna put her? Or I just like, that's fine.
I'd have her standing on the tentacle.
I mean, so he's like size-wise, he's about 80 feet tall.
Oh, so she's gonna be a little dot, huh?
So she would be like.
That's what I was saying. You could place her pretty easily because she's so small.
Yeah, she'd be pretty tiny. Unless I do
Yeah.
the little, I usually do a bubble, like a bubble of her inside the cockpit, so you can see what she's doing. If she's like piloting or saying something, I'll do
Right.
like a bubble coming from him. But I did that last time, so I'm trying not to do it again. Or I'll just leave her out. It's fine.
Well, if you already know she's in there. But
Yeah, I've done that before when doing commissions. We're like, okay, here we go. This is what I got so far, and then the client will be like, oh yeah, don't forget to add the what's the name? That's what we talked about, and that's when I make the Ben Affleck face getting out of counseling with the cigarette. Just
yeah.
shit.
I've been there.
Yeah.
But with
I
my
got
own
it.
stuff, not with miscommunication with someone else. More like what JBot's going through. You're like, oh, it's entirely on me.
Yeah, because you get wrapped up in the rhythm. You know, once you get going with that rhythm, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
I got everything set.
I bought all the packing stuff for all of my art giveaway stuff, which is cool. So I can go ahead and start packing that up. But I had to scan everything first.
Mhm.
Like, I got to scan this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you just get a scanner recently, though?
Yeah. So
How'd that
it's
work?
like, okay, it worked out pretty good. Pretty good. I can't complain about it. It worked out pretty well. I have to do it for my computer, though. Like, it's some with the program or whatever. Like, I can't just hit click and do it from the touchscreen of the scanner and then have it sent here. I have to come here to the computer, open it up, and then hit scan. And so I'm like, I thought I could just do everything from there. Well, it's a minor gripe, though. It's actually working pretty good, so I can't really
Nice.
complain.
I scan everything at my work because they have like this really awesome scanner. And then everybody's like, wait a minute, are you on the clock? I'm like, yeah, shut up. I got
Just
work
walk
to do.
away.
I mean, I got real work to do, the type of work that I care about.
Exactly. You just feel like
Oh, your
coworker,
business
walk
narc.
away. Just walk away.
Well, when you're doing a almost 90 page comic, it's a lot of scanning.
Yeah, something else.
Let's go.
So, are there any cons you guys are going to for the fall?
You know, I feel like I always hear about them too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and honestly, if I did go, I don't know. It's kind of, if I did go, it'd have to be like someone from CG that I want to meet in person.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
We're going to be pretty busy, James and I, once we both have books in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But so I know we have a few plans, but the thing is travel. Like, I'll definitely go to the local one, but I'm actually going to try to get a booth next year. So
yeah, I understand that. It's good to go to them, but as I'm learning, you know, with the streaming and actually talking to people directly and stuff, I mean, you reach so many people more often than you know, saving up for an event that's once a year.
yeah, no, I think there's a benefit to it, but I think this has so much benefit, like just interacting with people.
Oh yeah,
way more than doing cons, I think.
I mean, I'd rather just chill at home.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But then also, you know, if it's, I mean, I'd rather wait for an opportunity where we all can get together.
Well, it's definitely a lot cheaper. I'll give you that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to like have a time where I can like meet some of you guys in person and stuff like that. Yeah. That would be my main motivation, is like, I just want to meet people that I've been talking to for, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, the last big convention I went to was at Baltimore Comic-Con pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Which was pretty big, and you know, I got to meet some people.
Yeah, I'm sure Baltimore's pretty big.
There was another one in Tyson's Corner that I went to. Me and my sister went to prior to that because she makes like jewelry and stuff.
Yeah.
And, It was a little smaller. It was called All Star Comic Con, and because it was a little bit smaller, people were a lot more engaging. Artists
Yeah.
were very communicative. They had like this party, '80s party upstairs um, of the hotel. Yeah, I guess in the ballroom or whatever. And they had Tim Capello playing the Triple H looking saxophone player from Lost Boys.
Oh, nice.
You know,
Well,
he
that
was
would be worth it right there.
yeah, he was rocking it out, and he did that number, and he did the Pee Wee Herman song, of course, with the saxophone. But, and being able to get a chance to meet him was cool. One of the villains in the first season of Punisher, the John Berthal from Netflix.
Yeah.
He was I can't think of his name, but he was a cop, and he ended up being a villain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we were headed up to that dance room, he was in the elevator with us, and we chatted it up. It was pretty cool.
Well, my local one's pretty small, and I dig the small ones for that reason. Is you definitely have a more intimate feel.
Yep.
Because there's less pressure. It seems like for them to be on their
exactly
pretending kind of game. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to see something, you could just go see it. There's not a
gigantic lines.
Freaking line.
Yep.
Before I moved down to the south, I used to go to C2E2 in Chicago every once in a while. That was pretty fun, but it got huge, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And if you wanted to see anything, you had to wait in line for like an hour, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
get that. I'm too old for this shit. I don't care about anime that much, or I need to wait here for an hour to hear some nerds talk about it. Like, all right.
Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, I'm going to Anime USA in October just to kind of like go as a guest and see who's there. I know it'll be pretty much anime themed, but I might try to see if there's something of interest and network. And then I'm going to Baltimore Comic Con also in October, specifically just to see Billy Tucci because he's going to be there promoting She. And I backed his campaign. Was it She Omnibus?
Yeah, so, I think it's gorgeous, man.
Yep. It'll be pretty cool to see him there.
Yeah, that guy's a legend, man. Always done everything himself, day one, dude.
Yeah.
Well, and he seems like such a cool, badass dude,
Yeah.
What does he call himself? 80s teen sensation?
The teen sensation.
Yeah. Living a life. But yeah, during that time when She came out, I think I missed a lot of the popularity because I was, for obvious reasons, more captivated by Witchblade. And and it's good that I can play catch up to it now and get stuff directly from the creators.
Yeah. Yeah, because She was everywhere, man. And every Wizard magazine, she was everywhere. I just never bought it.
Yeah, I was the same way. Like, I'm like, why did I not really get into it back then? I knew it was there. I mean, like you said, it was everywhere. He was always like in that top artist section on Wizard and stuff, and that alone should have been enough for me to like get into it.
Exactly, yeah. But everything comes full circle in due time.
That's true.
Yeah. And
and now I'm like, I love She. Everything I've read so far and had.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, his artwork is so clean and awesome.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
See, I be having movies haunt me. Even right now, I'm thinking about how good The Cell was with Jennifer Lopez.
Yes, that was really cool.
Twisted as shit. When I
Yeah.
heard Vincent D'Onofrio was playing Kingpin, I was like, "Oh, the dude from The Cell. Oh, this is about to be crazy, bro."
So I call him Pile. As
Yeah,
a Full Metal
Private
Jacket.
Pile. Yeah.
Well, and then like a lot of people I knew loved him on was it Law and Order or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Pretty
they were
methodical.
like, "Oh, he was so good on that." I'm like, never watched it, but I can
Oh,
imagine he was.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I haven't seen him act in something where I didn't think he was pretty awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. The Cell had some very unique people because even it was a serious movie, and
Yeah.
the comedian Vince Vaughn played a serious cop role in it, which was
Right.
different from his usual.
Comedy stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I thought. Well, the Cell was badass. Like the concept alone was awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's what got me the most. Like, and it's funny. There's elements of it in that first story I was talking about. The monsters exist
Mm-hmm.
because they battle the monster. So the premise is that there's these monsters from other worlds trying to break through into our reality, but they're using the dreams of some teenagers to do it.
Ah.
And so the way they decide to fight them is through VR technology.
Wow.
So it kind of has that Cell kind of feel, like you're going in there and battling in the subconscious, you know. Story number 1 for Unconditional Shove: Monsters Exist.
That sounds
The
awesome.
Year, the year is 1964. Damn. Oh, U.S. government experiment program, Nazi Germany. Yeah. Count me sold.
What are you looking at?
I am definitely sold on
Or what are you
that.
talking about?
Oh,
Oh, I said, what were you talking about?
Monsters. I still had it up on Amazon. I was looking at some of the summary.
Oh, the book. Yeah, I was like, I thought you were talking about my book. I'm like, maybe you found a different one. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
like,
you were
it
talking about-
sounds cool.
You were talking about your book?
Yeah, the VR technology thing was my book.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I backed that one, didn't I?
Well, it's not available to back. You might have done the sign up.
The sign.
I hope you did.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because
I hope you did.
you guys were
Please.
promoting
Please.
it. I'm so terrible with signups, man, because I'm into so much stuff, and I
Yeah.
got so many daggone emails from everything. Whether
No, I know the feeling. It's nice for us. It gives us an idea of what to expect going into the launch. But like,
Mhm.
you're going to be around enough. You're going to know when it launches. But like I was saying at the beginning of the show, we're looking at Halloween being about the time.
Okay, yeah, that'll be perfect timing. I'm going all out this Halloween too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Already got my purge mask.
Oh nice.
I got some Wakanda clothes. I'm about to mix it up out here.
You're going to be all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't blame you.
yeah. I see I'll be having fun with these thumbnails. I might try to put together like a short story with it. Just
Nice.
still images. All right, yeah. I just signed up.
Sweet. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah. Thanks for
Yeah, like I said, you're going to be around. You've been hanging out. It's like you'll hear.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so I do have a question.
Yeah.
When I first started my LLC, I used Patreon as kind of like my initial crowdfunder.
Right. Your funding way. Yeah.
Yeah. But I end up doing like all kinds of art. So I know that probably threw off my audience. Is stuff like Patreon even worth it anymore?
If you get patrons, it's worth it. I mean, that's
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
I've never tried it, so I can't vouch for it. But I have funded people with Patreon before.
Okay.
So like I was a regular contributor to Richard Friend's channel for a long time for that reason. Because I go like this, like in my mind, I'm like, you're giving me all this free entertainment, knowledge, whatever, advice, all this stuff for free. I'm just watching you on YouTube. And you seem like a cool dude, so I'm gonna throw some money your way because he didn't have a book or something I could fund.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I'm getting basically all this stuff for free, and in my mind, I go, I don't pay for television, I don't pay for, I don't have like Disney Plus, like we were talking about. So I'm like, this is what I'll do instead. And so there was another dude who, my girls were really into the Nancy Drew games for PC. And there was a guy who did all these walkthroughs, and I'm like, we would have been stuck on so much stuff. And he was a super nice guy, and he had a Patreon. And I was like, okay, I'll give you money every month.
Nice.
I think I canceled a lot of them, especially as things got tighter. But I was like, but I did it for a while, and I'm like, yeah. In my mind, it was just a way to show I appreciate what you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a good night, Andy. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, Andy.
See you, brother Andy.
Anime Nebraskan in Iowa in October.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they probably team them up because it's small population in that area. I grew up in Colorado, a family in Nebraska. It's not very populated, but Omaha's kind of big.
I remember my pops took me to my first convention when I was a kid. Have y'all ever heard of Jubilee Enterprises?
No.
Yeah, it's like ancient. But my pops took me to one in Silver Spring, Maryland, and it was one room, tons of comics. Wasn't even like warehouse size comparable, but it was so small back in the 90s. Especially in like Maryland, people go to like either New York or, LA for that stuff. To have big conventions at least.
Yeah. Well, San Diego will always be the one. Yeah.
And when I went there, seeing the price, the biggest price tag ever on SpiderMan issue #1, I was like,
blew your mind, didn't it?
This is legendary. I didn't
just to see it. Yeah.
Say again?
Oh, just to see an issue, the actual issue.
Exactly. And,
That would blow my mind.
I ain't even bother to ask my pops, could I get it? Because, clearly I know he would have said no.
You're like, I know the answer.
But I was like, I just want to be in the presence of Spider-Man issue #1.
Exactly.
But in that, I discovered Savage Dragon, and
Nice.
Back when that was first out, along with Wildcats, Bedrock, and all them. So it was a great first step. Back then, I never would have thought it would expand to the level that it's at now. But I'm glad it has.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's always the whatever that moment is where you're like realize how awesome comics can be, It just like splash you in the face. You're like, this is amazing. Like you always know they exist, but there's always that moment where you're like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I always knew comics existed. I mean, everyone did, but like for me, I think JBot, we might have talked about this because I was collecting like sports cards because I love sports cards. That was my first thing, my first love. But then the Series 1 Marvel cards came out. I don't know if I bought a pack or somebody bought a pack for me or something, but the artwork on it, everything about it, I was like kind of into this. And then I had a friend who was into comic books, but I never bugged him about it. I'm like, hey, let me read some of your books, man. And then he had a giant collection he inherited, so he had a lot of old stuff, like Silver Age stuff even.
Wow.
So it was just like reading that like crazy. We would just sit around and read them all the time, and we both drew. So then we would read comics, and then we'd draw. Then we'd read some more, and then we'd draw. You know, it's like
Yep.
that's all we did.
Yeah, that was always cool when you had a friend that drew too, and then you guys would just sit there and
Yeah,
sit
draw
at the
parties like what we're doing now.
table. Yeah, dining room table, and just what you got? Oh, I got this. Oh, cool, man.
Basically, what we're doing now. Yep.
Turn the radio on, and then just draw, read comics.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. Me and him used to draw. Well, I guess technically we were neighbors in the same complex.
Yeah.
And we'd spend a Saturday starting off the day with like Fist of the North Star, the anime,
Nice.
and then sit at the table and just start drawing, and then start coming up with ideas, character ideas and stuff. And it was awesome. We had plans on, making we had a pretty big roster of characters, but he ended up stopped drawing, and he gave me some of his characters because his parents wanted him to focus more on Jehovah's Witness. And I was in a Christian household, so the rivalry of fathers occurred. My father was like, well, you can't see him. You can't hang out with him. He's Jehovah's Witness. And his dad was like, you can't hang out with, me because they're Christian.
You weren't Jehovah's Witness? Yeah, I always thought that was interesting because I had Jehovah's Witness friends, and they were always cool and everything and seemed normal. But then, like, the weird stuff, like the no birthdays and no holidays, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get you a birthday present. They're like, well, just give me a present. Just don't call it a birthday present, because if you call it a birthday present, I have to throw it away.
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
Damn.
Yeah, no, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, whatever. I mean, they're devoted, and, even when I don't agree with something, when people have devotion, I at least respect it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah, no, I grew up Christian, but my parents, not my parents, my mom, she got kind of sucked into like some crazy, weird people that like everything, like the satanic panic type stuff.
Oh, snap.
And then, so she was always worried that everything I was doing, especially because I was like into metal, so all the bands were like Slayer, Hella Waits, and stuff like that.
Oh,
She found my Hella Waits album and she just flipped. She's like, I can't believe you listen to this. I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty good. But but then she married, I had a stepdad, but it only lasted for like a year. But he was even worse. And so he like ripped up all my comics and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, all my role-playing games. Yeah, my comics. And then I was big into Rifts, dice role-playing game. And
oh yeah, I remember Rift. They were advertising in the comics.
Yeah, I loved Rifts. Well, it was the image. That's what sold me on Rifts. And then it was a really hard basically engine, like everybody I tell, I played Rifts, they're like, man, he must have been a total geek. I'm like, well, it's the only one I did, but I actually started with Turtles, which is the same. So the TMNT role-playing game.
Okay.
It's way before the cartoon and the movies and stuff.
Wow.
Shortly after the comic book, but that one had the same gameplay as Rifts. Just Rifts was way more complicated.
Okay. Nice.
They had a book of Riffs. It was like Riffs Manhunter or something. And somebody gave it to me. And I was like, this is some of the coolest art I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the artwork sold me. Well, the cover I got was the first Riffs book, and it had that alien with this. He's like a cyclops, the giant tongue, and he had like chicks everywhere on this like floating spaceship thing he had. I'll find it and have it share screen because this is one of the coolest images ever. I just got. But that was the one that was in all the comic books too, and I remember seeing it.
Nice.
I didn't find this. So it was. Oh, there it is. See if I can find an image. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see here. have to do it that way. Let's see if I can share screen. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that and went, I'm all about this. Whatever this is what I'm all about.
It kind of reminds me of H.R. Giger's work
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the alien stuff.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And I was like, whoever this artist was, I remember trying to draw that so much and I could never get it even close. I'm like, I don't even know where to start, but I kept trying. But yeah, I saw that and I bought that book, which was like the main book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ended up playing riffs. It was fun. They had
Wow.
pretty cool characters and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's that one platform. It has the eye between the two chicks.
Yeah.
In the lower left. Man, that is sleek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I wonder if I could do this too. Is it zooming in for you guys?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's actually a pretty good scan. So.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
I think they remastered it. It seems even more vibrant than I remember. It says 30th anniversary edition.
Parts.
But yeah, I saw some hot chicks too, and I'm like, I want to be this guy, whoever he is.
Oh, right.
He's got a scepter. I mean, some kind of built-in laser cannons and tentacles and this weird Cyclops shit. I was like, man, whoever drew that, they're my hero.
Yeah, intense. Oh man, that's the beauty of art. You sometimes just never know where the imagination can go.
Yeah, and I think with that one, it wasn't like, I mean, it was. I think they made characters and connections to that image just because he made that image.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably like commissioned him, like, hey, we need this really awesome piece of art, like, or they just saw that and went, hey, can we have that for the cover? You know, who knows? But I don't think that he was like that. Somebody said, hey, I want you to draw this monster and I want there to be chicks, and it was just some guy with his imagination going,
draw some sci-fi shit. All right,
this will look cool. Now this will look cool, and now I think I'll add this. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes when the best work happens, you just let them do their thing, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Let the magic flow.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was my favorite book, and then my stepdad ripped it up and threw it away. So. To bring it back to that sad story.
I can see why. Seeing that at a young age would have been my favorite book too.
Yeah. And he was like, no, this is devil stuff. I'm like, I don't think so. It's just cool.
Yeah. It builds like a type of intrigue and wonder, like
exactly.
Like and this is a very raw analogy, but you know, everybody wants to be Tom Cruise in the middle of the orgy and Eyes Wide Shut, but nobody wants to be in the center of this room having to take the mask off. You know,
well, that's an interesting analogy.
Yeah.
No,
sometimes
but I
I
get what
get
you're saying.
crazy.
Yeah. But for me, it's always like, what did that do imagination wise? Well, when I look at an image that's just like, Frank Frazetta was great at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is going on here? You know, like your mind makes up a story from one image. You know, you look at it and you go, man, there's something extremely fantastic going on. I don't know the whole story, but I could imagine anything, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I loved Frank Frazetta was like that. I'm always like, look at one image and just be like, why is there a wizard with a cave, and why is this barbarian even there, and there's some woman clinging to his leg the whole time.
Textbook.
So you got to think, why is all this happening? I bet for some really awesome reason.
Why is this wizard ripped as all get out, dude? Like,
No, right? Wizards don't lift.
I
They just
know.
cast spells.
He said, well, maybe he's cast the spell of muscles.
Aha,
There you go.
indeed.
He's like, I want to be a wizard around chicks.
Yeah.
Basically, like in World of Warcraft, you had your heavy chainmail paladin knights. You had your rogues that wore leather, and you had your wizards that wore cloth. But when they introduced Death Knights, they had the heavy chainmail and they cast spells. So kind of broke the tradition.
Everybody
And,
wanted those.
Yeah.
Let's turn this back up again.
So Dasko, since you like some of the dark stuff, have
Yeah.
you seen a movie called? And for both of you, you two, JBot, have you guys seen a movie called Dark City?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yep.
Of course, I didn't really like him that much in it, but I liked the movie itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland actually kind of annoyed me in that movie because he kept doing that like weird talking thing where he's like couldn't get his breath.
Yeah, he was like Igor or something.
Yeah. But conceptually, yeah, that was a great movie.
Heck yeah.
And visually.
Making Rufus Sewell, a guy who's normally known for playing villainous roles, into a hero. I thought that was pretty unique too. But concept, oh my gosh.
Yeah, concept was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, visually, and then it's been a while, but I used to watch that all the time, but now I'm like struggling to remember what they were called, the guys who would do the stuff at night, the aliens basically.
Yeah,
Jennifer
I
Connelly.
forgot what.
Ooh.
Huh?
Jennifer Connelly. Woof.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Connelly, of course.
She was in there. Yep. Yeah, I forgot. I think they were called maybe the Strangers or something, and they did tuning. That was their power.
Tuning, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's basically terraforming. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite line. Shut it down for good. Right before the final battle.
Yeah. Well, I always remember when he was like, was showing him that postcard or whatever, and he's like, have you ever been there? He's like, well, of course I've been there. He's like, take me, It was one of those kind of like, I have to take you?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, hell of a story. Even William Hurt was in there. General,
William Hurt. He was
General
the one he was forcing to take to that tropical place or whatever, the ocean or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Take me there, and he's like, well, yeah, I've been there. I took my now that you mention it.
Yeah, those movies I used to because I do all my homework the night before and schoolwork the night before, and then I just go to school class and then just take a nap.
Right.
The teacher would yeah, because I just turned it in. But sometimes I would skip school on Fridays and go to see movies like that. So I'd see like Dark City opening day, or I'd see Fifth Element opening day, or
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, or like The Relic. So
The Relic. That was a cool one.
So even for like low budget films, or or I don't know what you call those kind of films, but
Yeah, they're not blockbusters, but they're
Mhm.
I don't know. They're sci-fi films, I guess.
Yeah,
They
I
came
mean,
out
they're
of nowhere.
fairly popular for sci-fi films.
yeah, and I think those are
I mean,
some
did
of
have
those are
Kiefer
still
Sutherland.
still better than some of what comes out today. Even was it Deep Rising with Treat Williams? Silly ass movie, but it was catchy. You got some action, a killer monster.
Yeah,
Got to escape from the ship in time, and leave with the girl. Classic stuff.
yeah. I love. Well, I mean, I love all of that, but one
Mhm.
of the ones that was one of my favorites that, well, people who know talk about it, but it was Darkman.
Oh, I love Darkman with Liam
Yeah,
Neeson.
yeah,
Yes.
Liam Neeson, and then the retarded guy Benny from L.A. Law. Well, he
Yeah.
went like I grew up, and he was like a retarded guy on L.A. Law, and then I watched Darkman, and he's like the main bad guy, and he's like evil as shit.
Yeah, that's right. The guy on the construction site, right?
No, he's the main bad guy, the one who was like he would cut people's fingers off with a cigar cutter.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and then Liam Neeson actually does a mold of his face, but then it starts like bubbling and stuff. He's like, oh, like
He was Robert Durant. I think that was his
Yeah.
name.
Robert Durant. Yeah, I think you're right. The part that gets quoted a lot.
Yeah.
Like the fucking elephant.
Like reality starts ripping away behind Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well,
jeez.
That was one of Sam Raimi's first,
Mm-hmm.
beyond Evil Dead and stuff. But
Yeah.
that you could feel that he was like making that whole carnival scene felt so dreamy, and you're like, it was almost like Nightmare on Elm Street or something. You're like, I know something messed up's gonna start happening.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I'm finally back with the woman I love.
Yep. Just with a
Like a
hell of
fucking
a-
elephant.
Breaks the guy's fingers.
Oh, yeah.
I was screaming.
And to me, in a way, that was like a superhero movie, of an anti-hero at least.
It was.
you
I think it
know?
was a comic book, actually.
Ah, that I did not know.
Let me look that up because I thought for sure that was the case.
They did a remake now, they'd probably be like, "Oh, it's racist." It's like, bruh,
Right.
y'all
Oh,
just take a break from racism for like a year.
oh no,
please.
the guy's name was Larry Drake. Or that was the character. Yeah.
They'll be like, if it's Darkman, he got to be a black dude now. It's like, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
Call him white man.
So I'd watch Idris Elba as Darkman in a heartbeat.
Idris Elba is talking.
What even- I watch that guy play anything.
There's one black guy. That's it. It's Idris.
Well, he's the Darkman. That's why.
Yeah, he's got to live up to the name, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was a classic one. That was
Okay, no, it was just a short story that Raimi wrote.
mhm.
Yeah, it was, and Liam Neeson was phenomenal. I mean, that was before he was really like super well known or anything.
Yeah. In a way, I kind of grew up off of Liam Neeson. When cable TV would be on, and I walked by, see him as Rob Roy,
Rob Roy was so good. Yeah.
Michael Collins. I never seen Schindler's List in its entirety. My parents wouldn't let me watch it when I was young.
Yeah.
But I've seen it on here and there. I still haven't taken the time out to watch it because it's like 3.5, 4 hours.
I don't know. I've never seen it either.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Yeah, it's one of those you would get it on VHS, and that sucker would be 4 tapes.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, you want to rent it? Sure, man. All right. Here's your 3 VHS tapes. Oh, shit.
I used to work at a Blockbuster too, man. Those were the days
I bet.
when Captain Marvel landed in Blockbuster. I feel like she desecrated the legacy.
Yeah. Like, don't touch my childhood.
Exactly. Didn't she blow up a poster of like Schwarzenegger or Stallone, one or two?
I don't know, man.
I honestly can't remember that. I mean, I remember parts of it. I do remember the blockbuster, and I remember
Yeah, that movie was.
Stan Lee had like a Mallrats quote in it, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Special
basically
event.
like rehashing his Mallrats character.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
Cameron Smith cried about it.
Yeah, I cried about it.
Got all weepy and shit.
He
Woo.
cried so hard.
I cried so hard. Sorry, I couldn't help that one. Lincoln Park, all the way.
So
Well, I think I'm gonna be a party pooper and call it, gentlemen. I'm tired.
no worries, bro.
Understood. This has been great fun.
Yeah, had a blast.
I know I'm gonna.
I'm glad.
I'm probably
man.
gonna put in. I'm probably
You
gonna
gonna
put
share
in
what
an
you threw
hour.
out there, JBot?
Oh,
You gotta do the
I
round
just
table
got
sharing
rid
or
of
something.
Yeah, I just got rid of it like a
I'm
dummy.
going to bed. Bye.
All right, let's do that. I'll go first. Is it this one?
You drew Rob.
Oh, what am I?
Capture
am I
the likeness.
It's so lifelike. It moves. So that was the. That's the. I just did the lines
Oh, yeah,
on
that
it.
was your. Yeah. Very nice.
So yeah, it
Definitely
came out
big.
pretty
Well,
good.
this
Not
is.
bad. Not bad.
I mean, I like Hammerlock, but I don't know why. I'll always like this.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was trying to put them off a
I like
bit,
them
and I'm
both.
like,
Guys,
I'm
there.
having so much fun
Oh, okay.
drawing it.
Yeah, if you want to share, man.
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing with the rendering? Are you gonna do like solid line work or
I don't know yet.
values?
I don't know yet. Because this guy's he's gonna be tricky because he's kind of like a purplish type, so I don't want to just black him out
Yeah.
because I feel like you're gonna lose stuff from him. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with this with the oil monster yet.
Ah, yeah.
Or maybe I'll just maybe I'll just scan it and then do it digital or something.
Mm-hmm. Good plan. Good
But,
plan.
I don't know. I'll probably ink it somehow.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I got. That was mine.
Well,
Nice.
you have your style, and I think, yeah, just shading it how you normally would, I think, would be perfect. So.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about. I don't know. I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this guy. Maybe I'll color him. I might just color him.
There you go.
Who cares?
Color 'em. That's your drawing. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if I don't like it, I'll just give it away. But like, here, man.
Mhm.
All right, let's go ahead and get rid of that, and let's throw up Rob stuff. Here we go.
So, inch by inch, little by little. That's what I'm working on
Mhm.
with this character. Really been trying to focus on trying to get the right lines and all that, make it work.
Mhm.
The good news is that I haven't really had to look at examples of how to line render. Normally I do, so I'm starting to get the image right of what what it is, I want it to look like.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, like I said, once I'm done with hers, like this main piece, then I'll separate that off, probably start making some stickers,
Mhm.
and I'll do this whole background by itself, and then add her in there. And yeah, then it's gonna be a party. Maybe put a red dot where her blaster is, and have it go off screen.
Mhm.
Kind of headed towards the reader.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for somebody to say it, but I deliberately tried to use the, the sheriff, what's his name? Rick Grimes
Mhm.
from
Yeah.
Walking Dead. You know how like he points the gun like not directly at the person when he's aiming it. So I tried to add a little bit of that here, just a little bit of
Gotcha.
tilt. So
Mm.
I figured that'd be funny.
Yeah, because the gun's so damn heavy. It's like point it down.
It is. He was like, "Don't pull nothing, or else I'm shooting straight for your ankles." So yeah, that's all I got with Novir. I really want to get this done because You know, it's a comic book cover variant, and I got 2 others, maybe 3, introducing new characters for when I do launch my campaign next year.
Nice.
That's awesome,
Like,
man.
yeah,
Sounded
man.
great.
Thank you. Trying to make it happen.
Yep. Like you said, inch by inch, step by step.
Yep. All right. So I'll go ahead and stop share. All right.
Yeah, let's
So,
do
got-
Spotlight, and let's throw Odin's up there.
Man,
All right.
look at them lines on that throne.
Yeah.
Throne.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know JBot's seen this, but I don't think Rob has. The first page from the Cole story. So this is the second page I'm working on now. But this page 1.
Wow. Man.
Fighting a lizard, dude.
Yeah, there was certain men.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Good gosh almighty.
Yeah, but then my favorite was the pirate Cole, like Pirate King.
That's cool.
Nice.
So this is him like reflecting on his life, and then he starts reflecting on a specific story of. The story is called "The Mirrors of Tuzan-Thun."
Okay.
And so basically, he's kind of like got this like weird, like I'm king, but he's like a little like introspective and just kind of weird about life and what the meaning is and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the servant girl shows up, and she's actually like a spy, but she's like one of his servant girls, and she's like, "Hey, there's this wizard who knows all the answers to everything. That's where you want to go." So he ends up going there, and that's Tuzan-Thun, and his house is full of mirrors. And then he gets locked into these mirrors, and he gets stuck on them, and like almost gets taken into this mirror world before his friend like saves him and kills the wizard. So
Wow.
and the whole story is basically him reflecting, because the end of the story was that it affected him for the rest of his life, even though he's like, oh, okay, you saved me, you killed the wizard, but he never forgot what he saw in the mirror, like, so he's just reflecting as so he's like old king right here, and then he's young king there. So he's just thinking about when he was a young man and met the wizard. So yeah, and then the pencils down here, it's like him on his horse. He's going into the wizard's castle. And yeah, I've got all the pages, because it's only a 6-page story. I've got all the pages penciled now.
Nice.
Just got to ink them all, and then I'm doing lettering on the page. So I'm writing it as a poem. So on this page, the poem for this page is going to be on this scroll.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's going to be like a brick wall, or like, just a stone wall. And it's going to be like written on there. So every page is going to have like different, some of them are going to have like different little scrolls, in different places. So yeah, 6 pages, and then
wow,
tell this little story.
Awesome. It's coming out really good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, sirs.
Really good.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be fun when it's done, and then and like I said, I hop back and forth between that and this guy and my my baby. This one's just kind of like fun. But...
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming out awesome too, man. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And just even thinking about the concept of Scarecrow, because it's such a mysterious character, you can do so much.
Oh yeah, scarecrows are naturally scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do so much with them. You're right. So the funny thing about this is like my favorite line. So these people, like, they stumble on this like cabin, and the farm owner actually has a friendship with the Scarecrow. That's why it's called With Friends Like These. So they have this kind of like not quite symbiotic, but some kind of like mutual relationship. And my favorite line is like, because it's going to be kind of funny at parts, and the guy goes, this guy here, John Cena, he goes, I knew you were fucked up. You have a scarecrow and you don't even have any fucking corn. So I got to think about it, deliver it just right. But yeah, you were messed up because you have a scarecrow and you don't even have any fucking corn. Because he actually like lives in a cabin in the woods. There's not even a cornfield. So.
Wow. That is Sweet irony right there.
Yeah. So this will be fun. Like once this one's done, it's volume number 1 of Unconditional Sledge done.
Wow.
Awesome. Now, do you have any ideas for volume 2 already?
Oh, I have lots of ideas. Which one I'm gonna go with? That's the big question. So he can debug me now. But yeah, which one I'm gonna go with is the real question, because I've got several that I think would be cool. Like we were talking about there, like the overarching kind of stories. I'll switch back to normal so I can feel like I'm talking to you guys. Like the overarching stories, and then like fleshing them out will be whatever. But I've got like several like big stories that are going to be throughout the history of Unconditional Sledge.
Nice.
It's gonna be cool, man.
Yes, sir. So, and that's what we got. We'll let JBot go to bed now.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm a party.
Yeah.
I got to do it as well because I got to be up.
I'm gonna get some
Oh, no, I
rest.
don't have to be up early, but you guys should check out, if you have a chance, check out Elliot's show in the morning.
I'll try. Usually
Okay.
I'm on my way to work, but I'll catch it no matter what. Usually I check out
Yeah.
his stuff anyway. Even
Check it
after.
on the replay if
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah, I'm
be
gonna
11 Eastern or 10 or
I
11
think-
Eastern. can't
I
remember.
think it's usually
Okay.
11, I want to say.
Yeah. 8 o'clock. 11 Eastern. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get up early enough for it, and
Like I said, if you're not live, I'll share out the
okay.
replay and you guys check it out. Elliot's cool. I don't know if you know him, Rob, but he's a really cool artist.
I think I've been on his stream a couple times, at least in the chat, and I think I like gave him like super chat or whatnot and said, "Hey, what's up?" So yeah.
Yeah, super cool guy. Good artist. Fun to, excited to hang out with him. I've never actually like in person hung out with him, but we've bantered back and forth quite a bit. So
Yeah, super
Good
nice.
deal.
Super nice guy. He's running.
you had him on your show before, right, JBot?
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, man, you want to hop on?" He's like, "Cool, it's all right, man." Just zapped on as we started shooting the shit. It was cool.
Yeah. I'll probably try to stream for like an hour tomorrow because Wednesdays is script writing day. So, I'll draw just to put some time on the books and, on my channel, draw some attention to it. And after that, it's right into typing and trying to make stuff work.
Heck yeah, man. Well, keep at it. Like, I'm excited to see what you put out. Well, both of you guys, anytime you guys put out anything, I'm all behind it. So
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out. I'm gonna do it every
man.
Tuesday. You guys have an open invitation, so
Thank
I'll
you
be
very
here
much.
most of the
J-Bot.
time. So
Odin
All right,
Dasko.
guys.
Always a pleasure.
Rob Wilson,
All right.
JBot, good night.
I'm going to
fellas.
sleep.
All right. You have a good night.